I have a mobile phone in my Dantian. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 626, half a block of dragon blood ointment. Chu family, in Chu Boyong's study. What? Chu Boyong stood up from behind the desk. His face was full of surprise. He looked at the skinny young man in front of him. The young man was dressed in a strange way. He was one of the many bandits in Cheyenne Mountain. Chu family was rich and powerful, and Chu Boyong was good at strategy. Naturally, he had his own spies in the many gangs in Cheyenne Mountain. You said Fenja not only killed the two old guys, Hu Hu and Mang Hu of Cheyenne Hu gang, but also Zhao Hu was shot in the head. Zhao Hu. He is a master of the Saint Realm. He couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe that it was really done by his son. But thinking of Chu Xianfeng's battle with Chu Xiankang on the ring, he was considered the top in the Mahayan realm, but compared with the Saint Realm, it's always worse. Sir, this is what I saw with my own eyes. The master's spearmanship is unparalleled in the world. Hu Hu and Mang Hu couldn't resist a single move and were killed. Only Zhao Hu could fight with the master for a long time. But in the end, he was still killed. The skinny young man said. Is Fenja injured? Chu Boyong frowned slightly. Young master killed Zhao Hu. He himself was unharmed. Chu Boyong nodded. Go, collect your reward at the account office, and have a good rest in the city for a few days. He waved his hand. The skinny young man smiled even more, bowed respectfully again, and then turned and left the study. The Chu family is so powerful, it's nice to be under a big tree, but what future can you have by risking your life to make money in Cheyenne Mountain? The skinny young man was very happy in his heart, being able to rely on the big tree of the Chu family. It was the most correct choice he made. What protection do those gang thieves in Cheyenne Mountain have? They were wiped out in one fell swoop. The Xianhu gang was domineering enough, but it was gone in the blink of an eye. The descendants of the Chu family are all extraordinary. In the past, I only heard that Chu Xianhan was a genius, but this Chu Xianfeng is even more amazing. With Chu Xianfeng, the Chu family is destined to be powerful. Now Chu Xianfeng has killed a saint. Although the difference between saints is also very large. How old is Chu Xianfeng now? In another 10 years, Chu Xianfeng will definitely be a powerful man who dominates one side. The lifespan of a strong man is very long. As long as he is not killed in a fight, it is no problem to live for thousands or tens of thousands of years. If you can get close to the Chu family, you are destined to have a bright future. In the study, Fenja, cross the level and kill the saint. Chu Boyong's face was full of joy. He has 3 sons. The third son Chu Xianfeng is the one he is most worried about. Now that he sees Chu Xianfeng has such strength, he is naturally happier than anyone else. Fenja has been well read since he was young. He has good talent, but he is playful, which has delayed his cultivation. This time outside, he should have had an opportunity. One day he will realize the truth. Chu Xianfeng was so smart that he half believed and half doubted Sudong's words, but there were so many adventures in the world that he didn't go into it. Too many strong people rose overnight. Others can have opportunities, why can't his son? At night, in Chu Xianfeng's courtyard, Sudong held a long sword. Nangang Yan watched from the side. The fantasy infinite sword technique is quite profound. I will teach you some basic methods first. If you master this foundation, you will gain endless benefits in the future. Sudong explained the sword technique to Nangang Yan. When he performed this kind of sword technique, it was natural and easy. Unfortunately, he only had the entry-level sword technique of the fantasy infinite sword technique, and the essence was in the hands of Master Li Zuir. If he wanted to learn the true teachings, he had to find this beautiful master. Of course, Sudong is not weaker in swordsmanship. The swordsmanship contained in the magic sword blood kill alone can crush all swordsmanship in this world. But cultivation must be done step by step. If the foundation is not solid, it will be in vain in the end. Let Nangang Yan use the swordsmanship of this world to lay a solid foundation first and see if it is suitable for practicing stronger swordsmanship in the future. Nangang Yan listened silently and attentively. How dare she be distracted when a master like the young master personally taught her swordsmanship. At this time, Chu Boyong walked in. Fenja. Chu Boyong's face was full of smiles, and his expression was completely different from when he saw Chu Xianfeng before. Dad. Sudong put away his sword. Hello, master. Nangang Yan also saluted hurriedly. Chu Boyong walked over and looked at Nangang Yan with a smile on his face. He couldn't help but smile and said, practicing swordsmanship? How good is this? Go out and flirt with other women. Can women outside compare to Jaina? Nangang Yan's cheeks flushed when she heard it. He lowered his head quickly, but he was quite happy in his heart. Chu Boyong naturally recognized this woman, because Nangang Yan could be sent to Chu Xianfeng. Fenja, you are now very powerful and have surpassed your father, but you can't compare with your father, and you can't focus on a small Chu family. You are only 18 years old, and you have a long way to go in the future. Since you have the opportunity, you should practice well and restrain your past playful temper. Don't be fascinated by the worldly appearance. Everything is illusory. When you become a top power in the future, your father will also benefit from you. Chu Boyong said with a smile, but also quite solemnly. Yes, my child understands. Sudong nodded. Strength is the most important thing. Now the most important thing for you is to improve your strength. Chu Boyong sighed. Although he is a shrewd person, he has been in power for many years, but he has long seen through that this world is based on strength. This book has been updated recently in @ Update. Power. Power without strength is a kind of torture. Living in fear all day, plotting every night, fearing the loss of power. How can it compare to real strength? This is a treasure that dad collected in the past. I gave half to your second brother, and now I'm giving you the rest. Don't tell your eldest brother about this. Chu Boyong pulled out a small wooden box the length of a palm from his sleeve. He handed it to Sudong. He also specifically told Nangang Yan, don't tell Jaina about it. Yes, master. Nangang Yan nodded quickly. Sudong was slightly surprised. He gave half to Chu Xianhang. What? Half and half? He opened the wooden box. It turned out to be a black paste-like substance, and the paste-like substance contained a faint spiritual light. It was quite divine. Is this dragon blood paste? Sudong's perception was extremely sharp. He easily felt the strange fluctuations contained in this paste-like substance. Coupled with Chu Xianfeng's erudite memory, he recognized it at a glance. Nangang Yan just thought it was strange, but didn't recognize it. Dragon blood paste comes from the spirit race. Only the blood of the powerful dragons in the spirit race can be refined. It is of great help to the cultivators in tempering the divine body. It is also of great value. In the eyes of ordinary cultivators, this is a divine object. After all, it can temper the divine body, improve the divine body. This world also has a unique body refining style, which pursues the ultimate of the divine body and breaks the law with force. Dad, this dragon blood paste. Sudong was a little surprised. Chu Boyong can also take out this divine object? Chu Boyong smiled and said, your father was also lucky in the past. I gave half of this dragon blood paste to your second brother, to let him improve his divine body. The remaining half is prepared to use it to call for help in the future. If there is any accident in the Chu family, a piece of dragon blood paste can definitely invite a top master in the Saint realm to take action. Maybe even a Xian Qi strongman can be invited. Sudong understood. This father is indeed far-sighted. Nangang Yan only then realized the preciousness of this black substance. But it's not needed now. It's best to give this dragon blood cream to you. Chu Boyong looked at Sudong, his eyes full of expectation. Yes. Sudong did not refuse, but put the dragon blood cream away and nodded slightly. Dad, I'm going back to Linghua Academy. Sudong continued. The imperial capital? Chu Boyong frowned. A trace of worry flashed in his eyes. The second son of Qin was in the imperial capital. Chapter 627. The spiritual master in the courtyard. Actually, you don't have to rush back. Wait for a while. Chu Boyong said. He was afraid that Chu Xianfeng would have another conflict with the second son of Qin. Now Sudong does have some strength, but the son has a huge background. There is a powerful person behind him, and they can't afford to provoke him. If they meet again, if they impulsively do something irreversible, it will be over. After all, they are young and frivolous. Dad, don't worry. I'm going back this time to practice, and I will never be jealous. Sudong smiled. Really? Chu Boyong was slightly relieved, but he still reminded softly, the second son of Qin is ruthless. You should also stay away. It's nothing for a man to endure the anger for a while. When you have the strength of a duke in the future, Qin will come to apologize. Yes, I know. Sudong nodded. Then Dad will arrange for your uncles out to accompany you. Send a team of guards. Chu Boyong said. No need. I'll take Jaina with me. Sudong said. A swordsmanship master in my Linghe Academy is very suitable to teach Jaina. Nangang Yan's eyes lit up slightly. The young master thought a lot about her. It proved that the young master really had her in his heart. Jaina? That's good. Chu Boyong smiled even more, which proved that his son really calmed down this time. Without the dispute between women, there would be fewer troubles. Sudong felt that he was repaying some debts of love for Chu Xianfeng. Since Nangang Yan herself has some talent for swordsmanship, it is natural to cultivate and explore it well. As for the masterly Zuir, the dreamy infinite swordsmanship is indeed suitable for Nangang Yan. Li Zuir takes good care of Chu Xianfeng, and their relationship is extraordinary. These two are sincere to Chu Xianfeng. He will also try his best to make up for them. Jaina, take good care of Fenja. Chu Boyong smiled and reminded. Master, don't worry, Jaina will serve the young master well. Nangang Yan nodded quickly. Chu Boyong was so satisfied that he couldn't close his mouth. As expected, one learns from experience. His son has grown up and become more sensible after suffering a loss this time. Sudong also smiled. Going to Linghe Academy was mainly for the enlightenment of Taoism. Linghe Academy is one of the 3 major schools in the Shenlong ancient country. In addition to literature, the Linghe divine art, the gatekeeping technique, is more direct to the great Dao. It is worth seeing. The Shenlong ancient country recorded the top methods in the country for 100,000 years into a book. The Shenlong book has 36 methods at the top, 72 methods in the legend, and 108 methods in the upper layer. It also records the methods of masters of each year. For example, the Chu family's ancestor's magic breaking spear method. His magic breaking spear is ranked 106th in the Shenlong book. As for the previous Tu Feng knife, it is still above the Chu family's ancestor's magic breaking spear. It's just that this ranking is determined by the record. Zhao who killed more people with the Tu Feng knife. The Chu family ancestor hasn't made a move for too long. Who knows his strength? That kind of ranking cannot be trusted, but the Taoist arrangement in it has been verified by time and can give Sudong a reference and help. The Dragon's Divine Manual contains 36 kinds of peak Dao methods, and Linghe Divine Art is among them. Let's start with Linghe Divine Art. Sudong had a faint expectation to break through the Holy Spirit and comprehend the Dao of Death. He would seek in these Dao methods, just as Sudong was about to leave for Linghe Academy. In the imperial capital, in a quiet courtyard. Please inform the young master that Xiaohu has something important to report. Xiaohu, the 4th sister of the Xianhu gang, dressed in black, entered the courtyard. However, she was stopped by the guards in the courtyard. Those guards all had a strong aura. They were obviously top masters of Mahayana. This place is different from the place where bandits gather, such as Cheyenne Mountain. The rules are much stricter. Xiaohu, come in. A middle-aged man with an evil face appeared in the distance. The middle-aged man suddenly appeared and stood silently in the courtyard. Many guards hurriedly stepped back. Meet the steward. The 4th sister Xiaohu stepped forward. She saluted respectfully to the evil middle-aged man. The latter did not speak, but led Xiaohu to the courtyard until they reached the exquisite hall on the 1st floor. The hall was bright and luxurious, with many beautiful figures shuttling in it. The most beautiful woman among them was lying on a tall man. Everyone here was there to serve that man. Greetings, sir. Xiaohu quickly knelt on the ground and groveled. Oh, Xiaohu, you are here. The tall man raised his head and looked at the kneeling Xiaohu. You said in the message that Chu Xianfeng is not dead. The tall man said with a pair of thin eyebrows. His eyes contained a cold murderous aura. Yes, that Chu Xianfeng is not only not dead, he has also made great progress in strength and has killed the three brothers, Hu, Mang Hu, and Zhao Hu. Yao Hu said fiercely. She had a close relationship with the three brothers, especially Zhao Hu, and naturally hated Su Dan at this moment. He is not dead. He even killed Zhao Hu? The tall man frowned, with a cold light in his eyes. How could he not be dead? He personally planted the bloodthirsty goo, infected with bloodthirsty poison and not dying? That Chu Xianfeng is very stupid. Can he kill people? The woman lying on him suddenly spoke. Her voice was extremely pleasant. This book has been updated recently in @ Update. Why, beauty, are you moved again? The tall man glanced at the woman in his arms. The latter had an extremely beautiful appearance and was amazingly charming. Seeing this, the evil fire in his eyes was aroused. But the woman smiled disdainfully. A silly boy, would I be moved? Then she stood up again, ignoring the evil fire in the eyes of the second son of Qin. You are the same. If you can't let me win the Cold Moon Order, our fate will not last long either. Cold Moon Palace. It is a unique sect in this world. There are all top women in the sect, who are extremely beautiful, extremely intelligent, and extremely powerful. The skills they practice directly lead to the avenue of desire. Having sex with them can even improve your skills. Of course, their way of practice is to roll around in this world, experience the 7 emotions and 6 desires. When she heard that Chu Xianfeng had killed Zhao Hu by leaping his level, she suddenly became quite interested. Don't worry, with my father's strength, this Lengai conference will definitely satisfy you. The tall man smiled confidently, and then his mind was all on this woman. It's just Chu Xianfeng. Don't worry too much. He waved his hands repeatedly, with a beauty in his arms. Who would want that silly boy? Yes, Yu Hu, who was kneeling below, trembled in his heart. Zhao Hu and others. They died in vain. That's right. People like Qin Gangzi, how could they care about the life and death of a small gang in Cheyenne Mountain? Yu Hu withdrew from the hall. Just after taking a few steps, a low roar came from the wall of a courtyard next to it. The roar was similar to that of a beast, and also like a bird. It was sharp and low, which made people feel frightened. It's the spirit master who wants to eat. Bring the spirit master's meat and fruit. Outside the courtyard, a guard hurriedly brought a silver basin, in which were placed scarlet hearts, some of which were still beating slightly, and steam was rising. Yu Hu passed by and looked at it. Her expression slightly changed. Even though she was also a bandit, she felt uncomfortable in her stomach when she saw this scene. She knew that those were human hearts. They were just dug out of the hearts of living people. And they were all the hearts of people with great power. With great power, a heart also contains amazing spiritual power. The person who brought the basin put the silver basin into the courtyard and hurriedly turned away, seeming to be quite afraid. Then some black evil light emerged from the courtyard and continued to rise. The next day, Sudong, Nangang Yan and a group of guards set off. Sudong was helpless and said that he didn't need it. In the end, Chu Boyang still arranged guards to escort him, the third son, to the academy. Chapter 628, Nanfeng City Wang Family. Although the Chu family is a big family, it is far away from the imperial capital. If they have a flying magic weapon, they can reach the imperial capital in half a day. However, if they travel with a team of guards, they will not be able to travel fast. It took 3 days to reach Nanfeng City, which is the closest city to the capital. On the official road outside Nanfeng City, a group of merchants and aristocratic families under the Chu family were waiting to welcome them. In the past, the third young master often came to Nanfeng City, but this time is different. All of you should be careful and don't talk nonsense. The third young master now is not the third young master in the past. If you say something wrong, I will deal with you casually. Don't blame me for not reminding you. Wan Pukian, who was standing in front of the crowd, said in a low voice. Among the big merchants and aristocratic families under the Chu family, there are only 2 with more prestige. One is the Nangang family in Yanbi City, and the other is the Wang family in Nanfeng City. The oldest helmsman of the Nangang family is of the same generation as the ancestor of the Chu family, and his status is also quite high. Nangang Yan's father was just a member of the Nangang family. The same is true for the Wan family. At the beginning, the oldest member of the Wan family also followed the Chu ancestor. Later, they were separated in Nanfeng City. These families belonged to the Chu family for generations and operated some shops for the Chu family. With the help of the Chu family, these aristocratic families are also considered to be large and prosperous. With the changes in the world, the Wang family has been very popular in the entire Nanfeng City in recent years because there is an extraordinary genius among the younger generation of the Wang family named Wang Kun. Wang Kun showed amazing talent for cultivation when he was 7 years old, and later he joined the Nine Sword sect through connections. Now he is 24 years old and is also a great master. It is said that he is expected to become a saint. Once he becomes a saint, the status of the Wang family will be higher. Because of their strength, the Wang family even holds some power in Nanfeng City. For example, Chu Boyang had difficulty mobilizing the Wang family in the past. But today, all the senior members of the Wang family came. Yes, I heard that the third young master defeated young master Chu Xiankang a few days ago. There is also a rumor that the third young master challenged the 3 leaders of the Xianhu gang in Xianan Mountain. Zhao Hu is in the Saint Realm. Yeah, I have also heard of Tu Fengdao Zhao Hu, who is ruthless and powerful. Now in the 2 rivers and 3 mountains, who in the underworld doesn't know the reputation of the third young master? Everyone is careful. They discussed quietly. Okay, stop talking, Wan Puqian said. Suddenly everyone was quiet. A team came from a distance. Third young master. Wan Puqian greeted them warmly. Sudong sat in the carriage. Nangang Yan sat beside him in the carriage, holding a fine wine in his hand. Sudong also tasted this world's fine wine. Earlier, through the window, he saw these waiting people from afar. Chu Xianfeng has come to Nanfeng City more than once in the past. I have never seen the Wan family treat him like this. Sudong laughed in his heart. I'm afraid that Chu Boyang will only be treated with this level of courtesy when he comes. Sudong got off the carriage. It's getting late today. I'm afraid I'll have to bother Uncle Wang all night. Sudong said with a smile. What are you talking about, young master? The Wang family's fortune was given by the Chu family. It's a blessing for the Wang family that you're here. Wan Puqian bowed and said. The other members of the Wan family were very enthusiastic and humble. Not to mention the Chu family. Just the strength of this young master now makes them in awe. Well, let's go into the city. Sudong nodded, and Nangang Yan followed behind him. Young master, I have prepared a dinner and invited Miss Fixu from Qianfang to accompany you. Miss Fixu has admired you for a long time. Wan Puqian followed Sudong and laughed softly. Oh. Fixu-han? Sudong smiled. A top girl who sells art, but not her body. She has a good literary talent, a solid literary foundation, and is even not inferior to Chu Xianfeng, and has many skills. Wan Puqian looked at the smile on Sudong's face, and immediately felt stable in his heart. To receive this young master, it is natural to cater to his preferences. Although it costs some money, as long as Sudong is happy and satisfied, it is worth it. It is rumored that Chu Xianfeng once spent a lot of money on this girl Fei Zuhang in Nanfeng City. But Fei Zuhang thinks highly of herself, and even though Chu Xianfeng is rich and powerful, she did not get close to her. Of course, this is a rumor from the outside world. The outside world does not know about the relationship between the two. But Sudong knows it well. Chu Xianfeng wrote a love poem for Fei Zuhang, which successfully opened her heart. Later, the two met and spent a night together that night. But it was only one night of spring breeze. Fei Zuhang is a woman of pleasure, and she has long been accustomed to it. Chu Xianfeng forgot about it after that. The outside world has no way of knowing about this relationship. Nangang Yan, who was next to her, silently glanced at her young master, and then silently lowered her head. Her young master had many romantic affairs, and she had heard a lot of them. At this moment, she was quite curious, and wanted to see what kind of beauty Fei Zuhan was, and how she was better than herself. Thank you for your kindness, Uncle Wang. Sudong nodded slightly to Wan Puqian. No need to bother, no need to bother. This is what I should do. Wan Puqian was even more delighted. The master and servant were all happy. They entered the city under the gaze of many people in Nanfeng City. The news spread quickly. This book has been updated recently in #@. Update. Qian Fang in the city. Mr. Chu has entered the city. A pretty maid went into a loft to report. Here. Feek Sahang in the room was dressed in red and couldn't help showing joy. Since we parted last time, he has never paid attention to me again. After all, we had a good time, but he didn't even write me a letter. She was also angry in her heart. It was said that Chu Xianfeng was beaten and seriously injured because of jealousy for the second most beautiful woman in the world. At that time, she laughed and said that he deserved it. This Mr. Chu is very pompous now. The old master Wang of the Wang family personally came to greet him, which was very majestic. The maid also laughed. That's right. How many people in the world can kill a saint level master at the age of 18? Fei Zuhang blinked. The maid smiled with her hands covering her mouth. I'm going to meet this enemy. If he has some feelings for me and gets with such a strong man in the future, what else do I have to worry about? Fei Zuhang immediately dressed up, exuding 12 points of beauty and charm, went out and got into a sedan chair to go to the villa arranged by the Wang family for Sudang. A moment later, Sudang entered the villa arranged by the Wang family in the city. Many servants were strict and well behaved, and the maids were all smiling like flowers, all surrounding Sudang. The banquet was ready. Wang Puqian accompanied, and Nangang Yan looked around quietly. It was just in this villa. In a woodshed. Junior brother, why is it so lively outside? A man in black with a thin face looked outside the woodshed and asked in confusion. Next to him stood a young man with a simple face. At this moment, he even said, today, the Chu Xianfeng, the son of the Chu family, came to Nanfeng City. My father personally welcomed him. This courtyard is also for the use of the son of Xianfeng. Chu Xianfeng? That dude. The man in black frowned. He seemed to have a prejudice against these dudes. Brother, you don't know that the son of Xianfeng is now very powerful and famous all over the world. Wang Kun immediately told him in detail about Sudang killing Zhao Hu. The man in black glared at him. It's really unpredictable. My uncle Ling, who is a third generation disciple of the Nine Sword sect and a great master. Now he has to hide in the east, and that dude has risen like this. Brother, don't say it. I regret it too. Why didn't I like Kinmeng's behavior at the beginning? I was impulsive for a moment, but it caused me to get into big trouble. The man in black sat down against the wall dejectedly. Wang Kun sighed silently and didn't say much. Chapter 629, Flying Snow Red Girl. After a while, Wang Kun came out of the woodshed and looked around. Some servants around him lowered their heads. He told them not to tell anyone about what happened here and not to alarm young Master Xianfeng. Then he walked to the main hall. Once in the main hall, Kuna, come and meet the third young master. Wang Puqian hurried over to lead the way. Third young master. Wang Kun stepped closer to Sudang. He bowed and saluted. Are you Wang Kun? Sudang looked at this simple young man. His soul moved slightly, and he could easily feel the surging spiritual power contained in the latter's body. Everyone says you have extraordinary talent. It's really extraordinary. Sudang said with a smile. Third young master, you are joking. The third young master killed a saintly master at the age of 18. How dare I compare with you, my crude nature. Wang Kun bowed and saluted again and again. He has a simple character. Unlike his father Wang Puqian, who is good at socializing, he admires Sudang from the bottom of his heart. He not only admired his strength, but also his character. The dignified young master of the Chu family challenged the bandits of the Xianhu gang with his own strength. He was very much attracted by such chivalrous behavior. The young master has outstanding strength and rare talent in the world. He is indeed not comparable to Kuna. Wang Puqian also said, talent is only one aspect. As long as you work hard and have a firm will, there are countless opportunities in the world, far more than talent. Sudang smiled. Miss Feek Sahang has arrived. With the notification, many eyes were attracted. I saw a graceful figure walking into the hall. She was dressed in red and walked slowly. Her appearance was like a blooming crab apple, which made everyone slightly dazed and shocked. Sudang also looked, although he had seen her in Chu Xianfeng's memory. But seeing her like this temperament, He easily judged that Fei-Zuhan should have practiced some kind of charming skills. But who in this industry doesn't have some special skills? I'm Fei-Zuhan, and I'm honored to meet you, third young master. Fei-Zuhan bowed to Sudang. Yes. Sudang only nodded slightly. Then, Miss Fei-Zuhan walked to the stage in front of her quietly, as if she had nothing in her eyes, sat down, and a jade flute appeared in her hand, and she slowly began to play. The sound of the flute was ordinary, and it could only be said to be quite elegant. But everyone's eyes were focused on Miss Fei-Zuhan, and their eyes were blurred. Is this Miss Fei-Zuhan? Miss Fei-Zuhan must be the most beautiful woman in the world. Many people sighed in their hearts. Even Nangang Yan felt amazed. No wonder the young master was obsessed with her. She is indeed much better than me. After all, her cultivation was not high, and she had not deliberately worked hard on seduction. Naturally, she had some vulgarity. But Fei-Zuhan was different. Fei-Zuhan was already a cultivator, and her skills were quite deep. I can't find anything strange in Chu Xianfeng's memory. I just know that Chu Xianfeng is indeed obsessed with her. No wonder he is so obsessed. How can a playboy withstand such a charm? There are omissions when watching a person's memory, especially when the owner of this memory was also in a state of confusion at the time. The memory will be more vague. It's just that Chu Xianfeng couldn't bear it, but now Sudang will not be affected at all. He was calm, but Fei-Zuhan felt complicated. He was easily obsessed with me last time. This time, just looked at me? Fei-Zuhan felt a little lost. Even if a man changes his mind quickly, he will not be so indifferent to her. And I don't know why, when I saw his eyes, I felt panic when he performed the cold moon mysterious art. The soul method is relative. If you are not careful, you may hurt yourself. This Fei-Zuhan girl is indeed extraordinary, but no matter how extraordinary she is still a woman. Why is the third young master so obsessed with women? Wan Kun was also very calm. He was not unaffected by the charm. He is too simple-minded, and is devoted to cultivation. Too simple is also a kind of single-mindedness. Being single-minded in the Tao is also a kind of desire for the Tao. In Wan Kun's opinion, this woman is far less interesting than cultivation. Why is Sudang obsessed with her? He thought to himself. Perhaps this is what people often say, if you are not a fish, how can you know the joy of fish? Sudang looked at Fei-Zuhan. Fei-Zuhan used the charm method. Their eyes collided. Sudang smiled and nodded. Fei-Zuhan hurriedly lowered her head respectfully, not daring to look at her anymore. The maids who had followed Fei-Zuhan for a long time were slightly puzzled. What happened to their young lady today? It seemed that she didn't have the confident aura of the past. The sound of the flute lingered in the beams, and everyone was listening to the playing silently, but suddenly there was a noise outside the hall. Get out. What about the Chu family? Kinming, said that even if Ling Hubo escapes to the ends of the earth, he will definitely die. A stern shout came from outside the hall. You servants, are you looking for death? Dare to stop the Qin family? Many crazy voices were heard. Suddenly, the sound of the flute stopped. Sudang frowned and stood up. At the same time, Wan Puqian and others beside him also stood up. Wan Kun was already terrified. This book has been updated recently in #@. Update. It's over. It's over. What you fear will come true. Then how did Kinming find this place? What's going on? Fei-Zuhan looked at the maid next to her in confusion. She thought he was here to cause trouble for her. Miss, it seems to be Kinming. Mr. Qin, the cute maid said. What is he doing here? Fei-Zuhan was puzzled. Kinming's so-called Qin family is considered to have some cards in Nanfeng City. It is said to be surnamed Qin, but in fact it is a changed surname. It is attached to the Qin family of Duke Qin and manages some industries in Nanfeng City for the Qin family. Although the background is big, in terms of real financial resources and material resources, they are not comparable to the Wang family. After all, the Wang family is a family founded by themselves and has a certain foundation. The so-called Qin family of Kinming is just a dog. Let Ling Hubo get out. Wan Kun, that kid, dares to hide Ling Hubo privately. Get out too. Su Dangting's heart was furious, and he walked out of the hall in one step. His speed was so fast that the people next to him only felt a flash in front of their eyes, and the third master was in front. This body movement. Wan Pukian had some eyesight and was shocked at the moment. Outside the hall, a short and fat young man with a bean-sized black mole on his face strode into the front corridor. Beside him were burly guards. Those guards had fierce faces, and they were all masters who had killed people. Master Kinming, let's talk. Wan Pukian walked out. Humph. There is no talk. Hand over Ling Hubo. The short young man snorted coldly. Are you Chu Xianfeng? He also looked at Sudang wantonly, looking for death. The guard next to Sudang shouted angrily and drew his sword, pointing at the short young man. Many Chu family guards protected Sudang in the middle, looking for death. Haha. Chu Xianfeng, I know you just entered the city. Don't blame me for not telling you in advance. This matter is the business of the second Sunkin. You'd better not get involved. Kinming snorted coldly. The second Sunkin. Nangang Yan was shocked. The young master was beaten seriously by the second Sunkin. Enough. Wan Kun suddenly roared. It has nothing to do with the third son. Everything is my business. Kinming. You are too much. My senior brother Ling who only rescued 2 good men from your hands and only injured you. Why do you want to kill him? Haha. He saved someone he shouldn't have saved. He is looking for death. Wan Kun, this is not my revenge. The second Sunkin asked him by name. I just followed his orders. Wan Kun was about to speak. Whoosh. A black shadow suddenly passed through the courtyard. The black shadow had a ferocious face, holding a young man in black in his hand. The young man had blood on his mouth and was terrified. Brother Ling Hu. Wan Kun was shocked. Don't come over. He is a master of the Saint Realm. Ling Hu Bo shouted anxiously. Thanks to the boss of Kulan Luna for the reward. Thank you. Chapter 630. The third Master Chu takes action. After the black shadow appeared, he waved his hand and threw Ling Hu Bo in his hand to the Qin family servants. Kinming was also very respectful to him and saluted quickly. Old Jen. Yes. Is this the third son of Chu Xianfeng? The black shadow looked like a middle-aged man. His face looked at Sudang. He was wearing brocade, and his long sleeves were embroidered with strange and beautiful patterns. His eyes were full of playfulness. The momentum of a saintly strong man naturally shocked everyone. Wan Pukian looked at the middle-aged man. Not to mention that Ling Hu Bo's words had shocked them before. The saintly strong man was enough to make them panic. At this moment, after a closer look, he immediately asked, are you the owner of Huan Manor, Jen? It's me. Today, your son is hiding the wanted criminal of the second son. Kinming and others are afraid of the strength of the third son. They specially asked me to take action. Jeshai and Lui smiled. Because they were afraid of Chu Xianfeng, they specially asked him to take action. Since they asked him to take action, it would be easy to catch him. Sudang narrowed his eyes slightly. Huayan Manor is a large manor in the south of Nanfeng City. The owner Jeshai Lui is now 100 years old and is a veteran saint level expert. His status and strength are far above Zhao Hu. This owner Jen is quite famous. Wan Kun was secretly helpless and desperate. Huayan Manor Jen also acted for the second Sunkin, and senior brother Ling Hu fell into their hands. He was just despairing when a hand suddenly fell on his shoulder. Third son. Wan Kun turned his head and looked at Sudang with guilt. Sudang stood beside Wan Kun with a cold face. Wan Kun, tell me what's going on. He glanced coldly at Jeshai Lui in front of him. Humph. A Jeshai Lui. Dare to be so arrogant? Jeshai Lui smiled playfully. He was working for the second Sunkin. The background behind him was not inferior to the Chu family. As for the third son Chu, there have been many rumors about him recently. He was even more curious and wanted to see if Chu Xianfeng was as powerful as the legend said. Third Master, this matter was caused by Wan Kun and has nothing to do with you. Wan Kun also knew how domineering the second Master Qin behind Kinming was, and Chu Xianfeng was seriously injured in his hands. How could he dare to involve Chu Xianfeng at this moment? Wan Pukian looked anxious, but he nodded secretly, not to involve Chu Xianfeng. Sudang smiled. You are Uncle Wang's most beloved son, and Uncle Wang is very enthusiastic towards me. Don't worry, I will do justice for you. Not to mention the owner of the manor. Even if Kinner comes, you have to give me an explanation today. Sudong's eyes were cold. As a super strong man, he came to Nanfeng City on his first day, and someone broke into his mansion and arrested him without taking him seriously. How could he not be angry? Haha. The third young master Chu is so arrogant. Brother Boyong has given birth to a good son. Jeshai and Loi laughed instead, but today's matter concerns the second young master Qin, so I can only offend the third young master Chu. The third young master Chu. Qin Ming sneered complacently. He didn't take Sudong seriously at all. Wan Kun's face was slightly serious. No. Third young master, you should first inform the master about this matter. Wan Puqian said. It's okay for young people to act impulsively. After all, he is the elder of the Wan family. How can he be reckless? Sudong is the third young master of the Chu family after all. His body is worth 1,000,000 gold and cannot be damaged. Miss. The third young master seems to be coming forward. The maid next to Fei Zuhang whispered. Yeah. Fei Zuhang's eyes flashed with worry. Jeshai and Loi is an old-fashioned saint with good strength. Wan Kun, tell me what Qin Ming did. Sudong said in a low voice. His voice reached Wan Kun's ears, and he didn't know why. Wan Kun didn't dare to refuse at all. He pointed at Qin Ming angrily and shouted, it happened more than 10 days ago. Senior brother Ling Hu, and I heard that there was a gangster base outside the city. They specifically robbed some practitioners and sometimes harmed the good women around. In just a few months, they caused a lot of harm. For justice, my senior brother and I secretly investigated. In the end, we found that it was Qin Ming who was causing trouble behind the gangster base. We saw it with our own eyes. He took people's lives and abused women. Senior brother Ling Hu couldn't bear it, so he taught Qin Ming a lesson, released those practitioners, and took down Qin Ming's lair. But I didn't expect to cause a big disaster. Yes, I did it. I just regret that I didn't kill Qin Ming, the beast. Ling Hu Bo was restrained, but at this moment his face flushed and shouted. Humph. Qin Ming's face did not change, and he still sneered. He was working for the second son of Qin, and even the government didn't dare to intervene. These two young boys came to cause trouble. Aren't they looking for death? Everyone was shocked. They didn't expect that there was such a reason behind it. But Jeshai and Lei looked around with a cold face. Everyone lowered their heads. Even the guards behind Sudong were a little timid. That was a powerful saint. Wan Puqian secretly pulled Sudong. Third young master. I also knew what Qin Ming did. I have a clerk in my shop who has some boxing skills. First, he was deceived by Qin Ming, and then his family came to my door, not to mention the living. Even the corpse was not seen. But this is about the second young master Qin, the Duke Qin, and the third young master. We Chu family can't afford to offend. He whispered. Sudong's eyes were already cold when he heard it. The deterrent power of the Duke Qin was too great, and his status was unparalleled. His own strength was a strong man who could be ranked in the top 3 in the ancient country of Shenlang. Who dares to offend? However, such a big family naturally has to maintain its face, and naturally will not do anything wrong in public, so it recruited Qin Ming, Jeshai and Lei and other scum to work for it. This book has been recently updated on #@. Update. They just acted in secret without being discovered. This time, Ling Hu Bo picked out their affairs, but they did not repent, but became even worse. To cover the sky with one hand is to act tyrannically. Master Jet, practicing Taoism also requires Taoism heart. You are helping the tyrants to do evil. Aren't you afraid of the cycle of cause and effect? Sudong looked at Jeshai and Lei coldly. I have received great favors from the second young master. Naturally, I'm dedicated to doing things for the second young master. Jeshai and Lei smiled casually. Today, for the sake of the face of the third young master Chu, the matter of Wan Kun will be forgotten, but Ling Hu Bo must die. Let's go. No one can save you. Qin Ming sneered at the restrained Ling Hu Bo. God is unfair. He actually lets you beasts run rampant in the world. Ling Hu Bo was crazy. Senior brother Ling Hu. Wan Kun wanted to step forward to stop him, but was held tightly by Wan Puqian. You still dare to scold me? Qin Ming sneered. Go ahead and scold me well. I'll tear your mouth and cut your tongue, and you won't be able to scold me anymore. He was extremely arrogant. Qin Ming was born in an evil way. He didn't need others to obey him, but he wanted others to be afraid of him. He knew the consequences of provoking him. Wan Kun's eyes were about to burst. He wanted to rush up and kill Kinming with a sword. Suddenly, a black light flashed. It instantly penetrated Kinming's head. The sneer on Kinming's cheek was still solidified. There was astonishment in his eyes, and blood spurted out of his forehead. Plop. He fell directly to the ground. He fell to the ground, and blood continued to flow out of his head, and the blood flowed all over the ground. Master Qin. The servants beside him trembled in fear. Master Qin is dead. Who dares to kill Master Qin? All the servants were shocked. Who did it? They only saw a black light. Jeshian Lui was also shocked. The black light was too fast, and he was caught off guard. Good kill. Wan Kun was the first to shout out loudly. Chapter 631. This is a legend. Wan Kun was looking forward to Kinming's death. How happy it was to see him die in front of him. Who killed him? Everyone looked at each other in bewilderment. Jeshian Lui was the first to react. What a powerful Taoist method. I heard that the third son of Chu realized the truth in one day and became a legend. It really lives up to his reputation. Jeshian Lui even clasped his fists towards Sudang. What? Was it the third son who did it? The third son? Everyone in the Wan family looked at Sudang in astonishment. Nangang Yan was calm. Fei Zuhang's eyes lit up. The legend is true. Chu Shai and Feng today is no longer the romantic son who could only recite poems and write couplets. It's just killing a beast. It's nothing. Sudang snorted coldly. Is the third son going to stand out today? Jeshian Lui straightened his face and looked at Sudang coldly. I have one last piece of advice for the third son. This is the person that the second son of Qin wants. You can't afford to offend him. You should worry about yourself. Sudang sneered. Haha, I came here today on orders, and I wanted to learn about the third young master's strength. Suddenly, purple streams of light burst out from Jeshian Lui's body, and the aura of the Saint Realm soared to the sky. Third young master Chu, killing a Zhou. Do you think that the Saint Realm is like that? Today, I will show you why the Saint Realm can be called a saint. Swish. Jeshian Lui's figure was blurred. Carrying the purple divine power stream, he instantly pounced on Sudang. At the same time, a black light flashed in his sleeves, and a pair of double thorns appeared in his palms. Flowing cloud thorns. Jeshian Lui's famous weapon, good at attacking and killing, ranked above the two Feng knife in the Dragon Book. It is rumored that Jeshian Lui used this flowing cloud thorn to kill 12 enemy saints. He was famous for a while. The flowing cloud thorn is good at speed, and everyone only saw a flash of purple light in front of them. At this distance, it was in front of Sudang in the blink of an eye. Humph. Sudang snorted coldly. He waved his hand, and a long spear appeared in his palm. The spear thrust forward like a dragon. Bang. Jeshian Lui felt a flash in front of him, and his vision was filled with overwhelming spear shadows, which were unavoidable. Then a spear knocked away his Liu Iron spear, and then he felt a pain in his heart. The spear pierced his heart directly, and penetrated his entire body. Then Sudang swung his spear. Puff. Blood was scattered, and Jeshian Lui's body was thrown out casually like a deflated balloon, and fell to the ground. He was already dead, and he couldn't die anymore. The people in the courtyard only saw Jeshian Lui, and the owner of Gemana suddenly rebelled. Nangang Yan, Wan Puqian, Fei Zuhong, Wan Kun and other Wan family members were all worried about Sudang. The Qin family servants hoped that the owner of Gemana would suppress the third son of Chu. But these strong men fought too quickly, and Jeshian Lui helped the tyrants to do evil, so it was not a pity to die. Sudang was too lazy to observe his skills, and exploded in an instant. He directly made a fatal move. Then he reacted. Jeshian Lui's body had already fallen in a pool of blood and was motionless. Everyone was stunned. Dead. Master Jen is dead. The Qin family servants panicked. A powerful saint was killed with one shot. Retreat. Retreat quickly. The servants began to flee, but Sudang waved his hand. The Chu family guards blocked their way. It's not a pity to take advantage of power to commit crimes. Sudang glanced at the servants coldly. One glance made these evil servants tremble with fear. Third Master Chu, please spare my life. Third Master, please spare my life. They were all taken away. Su Dong put the spear in his sleeve in an instant. Ling Hubo knelt down and kowtowed to Su Dong. Ling Hubo of the Nine Sword Sect, thank you for saving my life. He was grateful after surviving the disaster. You know, even his master couldn't save him. Knowing that he offended the second master kin, the Nine Sword Sect would directly expel him from the sect. Su Dong nodded slightly. This Ling Hubo has an upright character and is a good man with Wan Kun. Wan Kun, take good care of your senior brother Ling Hu. He smiled. Yes, third young master. Wan Kun's face was full of joy. That's great. His senior brother Ling Hu is fine. Then Su Dong turned around and went back to the hall. The third young master is so powerful. Don't get close to me. Don't bother the third young master. Many guards hurriedly blocked the hall. The Wang family members watched Su Dong's figure walk into the hall. They were all shocked and admired. The strong are respected, and their third young master's strength is naturally respected. The third young master is so powerful. That Gemana master is so powerful, but he killed him with one shot. This book has been updated recently in @ Update. Too powerful. Has the third young master become a saint? He must have become a saint. Shock. Jeshian Li is a veteran saint. He is not comparable to Zhao Hu. To kill him, his strength must be sainted. Sainted at the age of 18. What a monster. Miss, has this third master Chu become a saint? He is so powerful? The maids beside Fei Zuhang were all stunned. Probably not, but he is not far from becoming a saint. Fei Zuhang's eyes were blurred. She was also a cultivator, and her vision was quite high. She was still sure of the aura of sainthood. Su Dong's strength should be sainted, but his aura was still a little lacking. It was true. After using the dragon blood ointment given by Chu Boyang, Su Dong's divine body was improved again. His natural aura was also improved. Second sister, you are wrong this time. Fei Zuhan looked at Su Dong. She was born in Lengaiyu Palace. The competition in Lengaiyu Palace was very cruel. In order to obtain many resources, one must have enough value. One's own value is outstanding talent and outstanding appearance, and the other is to find a stronger backer. An 18-year-old saint. As long as he is given time, he is destined to become a giant. What is opportunity? This is the opportunity. As long as you can rely on Su Dong, you will have unlimited status in the future. In the hall, Wan Puqian, Su Dong and Nangang Yan took their seats. Fei Zuhan watched from afar. Wan Puqian kneeled down respectfully to Su Dong. Third young master, Kuna is not doing things well and has caused trouble for you. He only valued Su Dong before, but now he is in awe of him. Uncle Wang, get up quickly. Su Dong hurriedly helped Wan Puqian up. The Qin family is causing too much trouble. Wan Kun is a chivalrous man and has done a good job. Su Dong likes this kind of cultivator who has strength, a sense of justice, and knows how to do justice. It is even more precious to help the weak and fight against the strong. But the second young master Qin, I'm afraid he won't let it go. Wan Puqian's face was full of worry. Don't worry, I'll stay in Nanfeng City for a few more days. Let's see what Qin can do. Su Dong smiled coldly. Originally, he was planning to go to Linghe Academy, but when he encountered this matter, he naturally didn't rush. In addition, Su Dong was also quite strange. Why did the second son of Qin randomly kidnap some practitioners? This is not just a disaster for Nanfeng City. Since he has encountered it, of course he has to take care of it. But with the strength of the third son, the second son of Qin should also be afraid. Wan Puqian smiled. A smile from the heart. Su Dong's current status is comparable to that of the Chu ancestor. This is the transformation brought by strength. Wan Puqian wants to quickly inform the Chu family of this matter. This is a big event that shakes the clan. On that day, the saintly strongman Huan Manarona Jeshianli fought against the third son of the Chu family, Chu Xianfeng, and was shot dead by the third son of Chu. This battle spread throughout the world within a day. Sent messages to each other and tell each other. Chu Xianfeng, one of the four sons of Shenlong, killed two saintly strongmen in a row, confirming the legend of his rise against the sky. Chapter 632 Promotion. The name Chu Xianfeng spread to all the major forces in one day. In the past, we only heard that this young man was a playboy. Unexpectedly, he rose to prominence overnight. The world is unpredictable. Some people envy him, while others quietly discuss what an opportunity Chu Xianfeng has obtained. Of course, many gangs in Nanfeng City sent visiting cards and gifts to visit him that day, and Wang Puqian was the one who received them. Su Dong naturally didn't bother to pay attention to ordinary gifts. However, Fei Zuhong, a famous lady, privately sent a cultivation method. Although this cultivation method was only a fragment, Su Dong felt like he had found a treasure, and he gave Fei Zuhong a generous gift in return. Although Fei Zuhong said that the fragment was too profound and obscure, and she would not be of much use if she kept it, she still couldn't resist Su Dong's excitement. Accepted the return gift of hundreds of thousands of gold. That night, Su Dong sat alone in the garden, flipping through the fragment of the ancient method in his hand. He could remember this fragment completely after reading it once, but now he read it over and over again. This Enlightenment Sutra records ancient secrets, and it has some Taoist meanings of Huan Quan Dao Fu. Unfortunately, it is only a fragment. Su Dong flipped through it, and he also comprehended it in his mind. Occasionally, he would wave his palms and practice it casually, and suddenly a hazy light appeared in the area of dozens of feet around him. The light was hazy, vaguely like the opening of chaos, and the airflow was twisted like a dragon and snake, wandering in this garden. This fragment of ancient lore contains the universe and the avenue of life and death. The avenue is so complete, it touches me. Su Dong was slightly excited. This was the first Taoist lore he got, after coming to this world, that he gained something from. Study it carefully. Su Dong only felt that his own understanding of the avenue of death had many more ideas out of thin air, and he was immersed in it, and had endless fun. Miss Nangang, is the third young master still practicing? Fei Zuhan came outside the courtyard. Nangang Yan was waiting outside the courtyard silently. Su Dong said that he wanted to practice quietly and not let others disturb him. She naturally waited respectfully. Seeing Fei Zuhang visiting, he nodded slightly. Yes, the young master is still practicing. Miss Fei Zu has come twice. Is there anything important? I just want to talk about some old things with the third young master. It's fine if the third young master is practicing. Fei Zuhan turned around, but her lips were slightly pursed after turning around. She thought to herself, I should have known not to give the fragment to him. He is so obsessed with it. In the past, Chu Xianfeng was very opposed to practicing Taoism. He was only interested in women. Why is it that this time, she got the fragment by chance? With her vision, she couldn't understand what method was in it. It was just that it was old and had great research value, so she kept it. Who would have thought that when she gave it to Su Dong, the latter would be as happy as if he had found a treasure? Yes, Su Dong got this fragment. Even the Linghua Divine Art of Linghua Academy that he was looking forward to was thrown behind his mind. In his opinion, the Linghua Divine Art may not be as profound as this fragment. Nangang Yan looked at Fei Zuhang's back as she left. Standing silently outside the courtyard, Su Dong used 3 days. After reading the fragments for more than 100 times, he realized 7 of the methods. Among these 7 methods, 4 are methods that directly point to the great way of life and death. The methods are so comprehensive, it's amazing, but it's just a fragment. Su Dong thought to himself. But even if it's a fragment, it helps me a lot, especially the understanding of the way of death, which helps me solve a lot of puzzles. It also fills in the 22 character scripture to 36 characters. Su Dong smiled. The filling of the 36 character scripture naturally improved his physical strength. The most important thing is the perception of the Tao. If I were to perceive it myself, I might be able to understand it after spending more than 10 years, but it would take time and I wouldn't be so thorough. Reading thousands of books, traveling thousands of miles, and constantly enriching your knowledge can help you break through the Holy Spirit level faster. Jinayan sect. One of the top sects in the Shenlong ancient country, the sect master Jinayan Dharma King, is a Xianqi strongman. His strength ranks among the top 10 in the Shenlong ancient country. He has 3 disciples, and the third disciple, Master Yuan, is also in the sainthood. This third disciple is very much loved by the Golden Cloud Dharma King, who specially created a unique body refining method for him. The process of practicing the body refining method is varied. Some are very painful, and some require a lot of spiritual objects for nourishment. And the body refining method of this Master Yuan is to use the spiritual blood of the spirit race to nourish the divine body. Dragon blood paste is one of them. Using the blood of living spirit races to temper is also one, and the effect is better. But in the human world, it is not easy to find spirit creatures. Dukekin has great means. He once captured one and kept it in captivity. Every month, he takes the blood of the spirit beast for Master Yuan to use for body refining. Of course, it is very valuable. In a cave in the mountains of the Golden Cloud sect, the interior of the cave is like a palace. Master Yuan, dressed in a green robe, sits high above. Many disciples are lined up in the hall. Master, I really only found this incomplete scroll. A man was tied up and thrown into the hall. His body was covered in blood. His breath was weak, but he was mumbling. Boom. The high and mighty Master Yuan waved his hand, and a palm formed by violent spiritual power suddenly slapped the man hard. The man was directly slapped and flew out, bursting with a puff of blood mist, and fell to the ground and died. Privately hiding treasures is already a serious crime. Dare to conceal it? It's even more damnable. Master Yuan sneered. This book was recently updated in #@. Update. Many disciples in the hall did not dare to speak and lowered their heads. The one who was slapped to death was also one of their junior brothers. He was tortured and beaten just because he secretly hid a treasure outside and did not hand it over to the master. Now he was killed, but no one dared to beg for mercy. This is the rule in Jin Dynasty sect. Okay, you all leave. Master Yuan waved his hand. Disciple, I'll leave. Many disciples saluted respectfully and then left the hall. When he was the only one left in the hall, he took out a scroll from his sleeve. Looking at the scroll in his hand, there was a proud look in his eyes. I didn't expect that Yuan, would have such an opportunity. I could actually get such a treasure. According to my research in recent days, this atlas is the second volume of the 3 atlases left by the Demon Lord. Even if it is only the second volume, many of the methods in it are not comparable to what my master taught. He smiled proudly. If King Jinan knew that he had secretly kept the Demon Lord's scroll, he would probably take it away at the first time. However, only he and the executed disciple knew that this fragment was left by the Demon Lord. The latter was already dead, so naturally no one would find out. This scroll is his great opportunity. It can make him rise, surpass King Jinan, and become the top power in this world. There is hope for breaking through the realm. But because it is the second volume, most of the records are sword methods, which are not very helpful to me. The small amount of Taoist methods are treasures. Master Yuan unfolded the scroll in his hand, and there were pictures and texts in the scroll. There was even a strange portrait. The portrait was similar to a human figure, and it looked like a terrifying demon shadow. Looking at the portrait, one can sense a palpitating aura. A message from second young Master Qin. Yuan pulled out a talisman. He was in a good mood at the moment. Second young Master Qin had been sending him spirit blood from the spirit race. The two had a good relationship. But when he saw the message, his face changed. What? Chu Xianfeng from the Chu family was having a grudge against him and killed the person in charge of providing food for the spirit masters. He also killed Jeshianli. There is no spirit beast blood this month. Yuan was furious. Ridiculous. Killing a servant means there is no spirit beast blood. Second young Master Qin. He frowned. Spirit beast blood is a major way for him to improve his strength. How could he stop? But after a little thought, he understood. Second young Master Qin wants me to get rid of Chu Xianfeng. Chapter 633 I won't bully you. Although he knew that he wanted him to take action, Yuan really couldn't question Qin. Because this Qin Gangzi was also very good at dealing with people. Not only did he provide him with spiritual blood, but he also gave him many treasures. He was soft-hearted and received too many gifts. If he questioned and refused at this time, how could he work with him in the future? This Chu Xianfeng. Even Jeshianli was killed. From the message, it was obvious that Qin Gangzi had made arrangements to humiliate Chu Xianfeng. Chu Xianfeng had just arrived in Nanfeng City. Qin Ming and Jeshianli took action. How could it be such a coincidence? It was obviously planned long ago. Unfortunately, Jeshian Lui was killed on the spot, which made Chu Xianfeng famous. To be able to kill Jeshian Lui, he is indeed a saint. But after all, he is young. Whatever. I will take action once. A small Chu family. It's really a big deal. Yuan sneered. Chu family. He didn't take it seriously at all. Wouldn't it be better for Chu Xianfeng to just be his playboy? Why do you have to meddle in his business? Su Dong practiced for 3 days in a row. He walked out of the courtyard on the 4th day. Now 7 days have passed. In the morning, he had breakfast with Nangang Yan. The guard came to report. Third Master, Master Wang and Uncle Ling who want to see you. Oh. Su Dong nodded. Let them in. By the way, if Miss Fixahan comes to visit, just say I'm practicing and can't be disturbed. Yes. The guard hurriedly retreated. Nangang Yan chuckled. Others have to spend a lot of money to see Miss Fixu. She came to see you on her own initiative, and you're not happy. Su Dong shook his head. It's okay for Miss Fixu to come once or twice. It's annoying to come every day. He knew that Fixahan wanted to renew their relationship with him, but he was not Chu Xianfeng after all. Naturally, he didn't want to. Nangang Yan smiled slightly and stopped talking. After a while, Wan Kun and Uncle Ling who came in. They saluted Su Dong first. Then he nodded slightly to Nangang Yan. Now Nangang Yan was beside Su Dong, looking like a lady. The Wang family was quite respectful to her. Third Master. These are the case files of interrogating the evil slaves under Kinming. Wan Kun handed the files in his hand to Su Dong. Su Dong flipped through them. His face changed slightly. He was just a servant who had been working for Kinming for less than half a year for the second Master Qin. He had killed several people. There were many more, and I don't know how many innocent souls there were. He really deserves to die. Su Dong snorted coldly. Then he frowned again. The files say that he killed people and took their hearts and sent them to a courtyard in the capital city. Is this courtyard related to Qin? Yes. That is the root cause of Kinming and others' misfortune. Wan Kun also nodded. Ling Hubo felt angry. This second Master Qin was causing trouble. Although he killed only low-level mortals, it was too inhumane to do such a sin. Well, you don't have to worry about this matter anymore. Su Dong said. Yes. Wan Kun nodded immediately. Ling Hubo wanted to speak again, but was secretly stopped by Wan Kun. After a salute, they both left. Walking out of the hall. Junior brother. Do you think the third young master will take care of this? Ling Hubo said. How? Kill the second young master Qin? Wan Kun looked at Ling Hubo. Ling Hubo was choked. Kill Qin? He is the son of Duke Qin. How can he be killed at will? The way of heaven is unfair. I really can't accept it. Ling Hubo couldn't help but sigh. If you feel unwilling, just practice well. When you have the strength to sweep away Duke Qin, isn't it easy to kill Qin? Wan Kun said. He was also angry. What else could he do? The only way was to improve his strength. The stronger the strength, the greater the ability. Ling Hubo nodded slightly. Junior brother is right, but it is not easy to become a stronger person than Duke Qin. Wan Kun stopped talking. After breakfast, Su Dong practiced swordsmanship in the courtyard for a while. Then he sat in the pavilion, drinking tea while flipping through ancient books. After the fragments of the 22 character sutra and the Enlightenment Sutra, Su Dong tasted the sweetness of the fragments of ancient texts. So he specially ordered Wang Puqian to collect many ancient books and fragments for him. TSK. There are fakes everywhere. Can this be called a fragment? Su Dong flipped through the classics. Only then did he realize that he was too naive. Ancient books that truly record profound Taoism are not so easy to get. Chu Xianfeng got it by mistake. Fei Zuhang also collected it on purpose. They all have certain opportunities. It was noon. A figure flew from a distance above Nanfeng City. Under his feet was a strange big banana fan. Finally, he stopped above this house and looked down. Chu Xianfeng. The figure was wearing a green robe. There was murderous intent in his eyes. It was Master Yuan who came from afar, using the fairy magic weapon to fly. The speed was indeed much faster. This book has been recently updated on #@. Update. I don't know what kind of opportunity Chu Xianfeng got. He actually transformed from a playboy into a talented and powerful person. Master Yuan was puzzled, but he was disdainful. But fortune and misfortune are interdependent. It was also because you had an opportunity, but you provoked someone you shouldn't have provoked, and this is why you had a fatal disaster. If it was normal, he would not bother to kill Chu Xianfeng, but this time, the second son of Qin intended him to take action. For the blood of the spirit beast. What's the big deal about killing Chu Xianfeng? His eyes narrowed slightly, and he searched the mansion below. There, he saw Su Dong in the pavilion at a glance. I'm really curious. How dare you provoke us? Is it because of the power of the ancestor of the Chu family? He thought to himself. Master Yuan sneered, and then he took out a dark green long sword from his sleeve. Die. Master Yuan waved the long sword in his hand, and the top spiritual power of the saint, plus his swordsmanship, a faint green light flew down like a falling star. Su Dong was flipping through the classics. His spirit was so strong that, even if he was suppressed by the mysterious airflow, he could still control everything around him. Naturally, he had already seen Master Yuan in the sky. He's finally here. Su Dong smiled. He knew that the second son of Qin would never give up, but he didn't expect that he had to wait for 7 days to get this revenge. When he saw the faint sword light, this sword technique is pretty good. He waved his hand casually. Whoosh. A long sword appeared in his sleeve, and the sword light flashed. Recently, he had some insights into sword techniques, so it was a good time to try his sword techniques. The sword light was very cold. Unlike the devil-breaking spear, the sword light tore through all obstacles and soared into the sky. Although it was not a full-strength attack, the power was much higher than the spear technique used against Zheshyan. What a quick reaction. Master Yuan was surprised, watching the sword light collide with his sword light. Boom. The sword light directly tore his sword light apart and defeated it. What? This sword technique? He didn't use the devil-breaking spear. Is his sword technique so strong? Master Yuan was immediately shocked. He quickly swung out another sword to block. The dark green long sword in his hand was wrapped with strange green light, and it danced like a dark green silk thread. Bang! The sword light and the long sword collided. A surging shock wave spread out immediately. Because it was in the air, the light of divine power suddenly burst out, which was quite spectacular. Half of Nanfeng City was shocked for a while. I won't bully you. I'll use you to try my newly realized sword skills. Su Dong sneered, and slowly began to display it. Sword lights burst out one after another. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 634. I can't let you get away with it. The sword lights burst out in an instant, turning into a huge sword light storm that submerged Master Yuan in the sky. He is so strong. He is much stronger than Zheshyan. Master Yuan was shocked. He looked down on the Chu family, because the Chu family's famous magic breaking spear technique was just so-so. No matter how powerful Chu Xianfeng was, his rise was also a rise in skill. How strong could his skills be? But when the sword light burst out, Master Yuan felt that there was endless sword light in front of him. He waved his sword frantically to block it, but it felt very strenuous. He did not dare to be careless anymore and quickly used all his secret sword skills. Under the waving of the dark green sword light, the sword light like a silk thread surrounded and bloomed, and it was urged to the extreme. The sky was full of sword light. The sword light and the sword light collided, but it was obvious that the sword light was better, and the range of the sword light that was suppressed continued to shrink. So scary. Wang Puqian, Wang Kun and other members of the Wang family had been alarmed long ago, and looked up outside the courtyard to see the scene in the sky. Power radiated. Many servants and maids were so frightened that their faces turned pale, and they retreated repeatedly. It's Master Yuan's Moyan sword technique. Ling Hubo, a disciple of the Nine Sword sect, recognized the sword technique. There is only the third young master in the courtyard. Is it the third young master who is fighting with Master Yuan? They were extremely surprised. Master Yuan is the third disciple of the Jinan sect's Jinan Dharma King. He personally taught the Taoism and has a prominent background. It is rumored that his Moyan sword once wiped out a medium-sized sect. Even saints are not his opponents in one move. Such a strong man, come to fight with the third young master? Too shocking. But looking at the scene in the sky, Master Yuan is powerful, and the third young master is not weak either. After all, the Chu family is a big family, and they are quite well informed about the intelligence in this ancient country of Shenlong, and they know the great reputation of Master Yuan. Young master, will you be in danger? Wan Puqian was worried. It seems that the third young master is fine. You see that Master Yuan and the sword light in the sky can only wave his sword to block it. Wan Kunlian said. I just wonder, why is the third young master's swordsmanship so strong? Ling Hubo wondered. Nangang Yan, who was standing next to him, was the calmest. She knew her young master's strength. She thought that, as long as a Jupekin didn't come in person, everything would be fine. They were excited and nervous. Master Yuan, who was fighting above, felt frightened. He felt that every blade of Sudang's sword was extremely terrifying. As long as he made a mistake, he would be split in half in an instant. He was forced to keep swinging his sword to defend. But defense will eventually go wrong. Puff. A defensive mistake. The sword light instantly passed Master Yuan's chest. It tore the Taoist robe on his chest, and tore a gap in the outer Taoist robe. The robe turned out to be a powerful magic weapon for protection. It blocked a fatal blow for him. This is so close. Master Yuan was frightened. His swordsmanship was still not good enough, and he actually made a mistake. Fortunately, he had a magic robe to protect him, otherwise he would have been seriously injured if he didn't die just now. However, Sudang was only verifying his understanding of the swordsmanship. Although it was also extremely terrifying, it was not a killing move after all. The power was naturally weaker. If it was a killing move, Master Yuan would still die, even if he wore 10 protective robes. Retreat. Master Yuan no longer had any murderous intent in his heart, only fear. The banana fan under his feet suddenly emitted a strange whirlwind. Once the whirlwind was generated, it easily rose nearly 100 meters, and got rid of Sudang's sword light in an instant. Want to leave? Sudang sneered. You came here to kill him, and you still want to leave alive. Those who kill will be killed. Swish. Sudang swung his sword. This sword was faster and more terrifying than many previous sword lights. The speed was extremely fast, close to the world's maximum speed. Puff. The sword light rushed into the sky and passed by in an instant. Master Yuan's body was split into two at the critical moment. This life-saving method is one of his trump cards, and it has saved his life countless times. The two Masters Yuan, their clones appeared to block the sword light, while their real bodies frantically controlled the banana leaf fan to escape. But the sword light instantly tore through his body protecting clone, and then slashed in front of him. Yuan tried to twist his body to avoid it, but he still couldn't avoid it. He swung his sword to block it, but the sword light was too fast. The long sword didn't block it, and his right arm and robe were instantly cut and thrown into the air, and blood was scattered. No. Master Yuan's eyes were bloodshot. In the sleeve of his right arm was his Kyankan sleeve, which contained many of his treasures, including the Demon Lord scroll he had just obtained. One arm was cut off. In the blink of an eye, another one grew out, but the broken arm and robe sleeve that fell off were what really made him heartbroken. Whoosh. Flying directly towards Sudang. Master Yuan's face flushed, seeing that Sudang was about to swing his sword again below. No matter how reluctant and unwilling he was in his heart, he didn't dare to delay any longer, so he stepped on the banana leaf fan and flew away directly. The whirlwind whistled, and in the blink of an eye, Master Yuan flew 1,000 meters away. In another flash, he disappeared into the horizon. Your divine body is well tempered, and you are also cultivating a clone. Sudang watched from below. At the critical moment, this man was also very decisive, and he actually gave up his clone to block the death. That banana fan magic weapon is also a first-class flying magic weapon, plus the protective Taoist robe. And the long sword in your hand is also extraordinary. I want to see what kind of person you are. Sudang put away his knife and stood below. He did not chase him, but took Master Yuan's broken arm and sleeve in his hand, and took a look. This book was recently updated in #@. There are many command talismans, items, Su Dong took a look and secretly revealed a look of enlightenment. It turned out to be him? I didn't expect that Jin and sect also worked for Qin. Su Dong sneered. Master Yuan is the third disciple of Jin and Armor King. His talent can only be considered ordinary, but because he does things properly and is very good at pleasing Jin and Armor King, he is very favored. No wonder he has so many treasures. Although there are many treasures, but his swordsmanship and character are a bit lacking, and he is just in name only. Su Dong casually checked the items in his sleeves, and then his expression suddenly changed. Su Dong took out a scroll from his sleeves. Master Yuan fled to a deep mountain thousands of miles away in the blink of an eye. He looked down at his bare right arm. His face was full of humiliation. That Chu Xianfeng, is he so strong? He is so strong, and Qin still wants me to kill him. This Qin son has made him miserable. It's over. It's over. My precious scroll has fallen into the hands of Chu Xianfeng. As long as he checks, he will definitely find it. Ah. How did Chu Xianfeng practice his swordsmanship? How deep must his understanding of the way of swordsmanship be to be so strong? Especially the last sword. He was so anxious that he jumped up and down. What should he do? His strength is not as good as others. He can't get it back by robbing. Tell Master Jin and Armor King, that scroll is a great opportunity. Even if it doesn't fall on me, I can't let Chu Xianfeng get away with it. Report to Master. Not only Master, but also the world. Chu Xianfeng rose to prominence because he had the scroll left by the Demon Lord. That is the inheritance scroll that points directly to breaking the world. Whoosh. Master Yuan stepped on the banana fan, turned into a phantom and quickly flew away from the top of the mountain and disappeared into the sky. Nanfeng City, a few streets away from Su Dong's mansion. A feminine man stood there, silently watching the battle above the mansion. At this distance, with his cultivation, he could naturally see it clearly. Yuan actually lost. That Chu Xianfeng is so strong. The feminine man was also shocked. He turned around and flew away. Second Master is right. There is something very strange about Chu Xianfeng. The feminine man thought to himself. Chapter 635 Demon Lord Scroll. In just a moment, the feminine man flew to the quiet courtyard. The second son of Qin was sitting in the hall drinking fine wine, surrounded by many beautiful women. But the beauty from that day was nowhere to be seen. Young master, young master. The feminine man walked in and shouted. Did Yuan take action? The second son of Qin in the hall raised his head with a smile on his face, but as soon as he saw the expression on the face of the feminine man, his heart sank. Did Yuan fail too? Yes, just now, Yuan fought with Chu Xianfeng in Nanfeng City. Yuan was defeated, lost a clone, and almost died in the hands of Chu Xianfeng. The feminine man spoke. So strong? The second son of Qin was shocked. The feminine man nodded solemnly. Qin drank a sip of wine silently. I have fought with this Chu Xianfeng. He was only a mediocre fighter, but I easily injured him. I also secretly put a bloodthirsty poison on him. You know, if you are infected with a bloodthirsty poison, you will definitely die. The second son of Qin shook his head, but he actually survived and rose up overnight, and it was out of control. It's amazing that he was able to cure the bloodthirsty poison and survive. He also shot Jeshianli to death, and then defeated Yuan. It proves that Chu Xianfeng is not someone I can mess with. He is cold by nature, and with Duke Qin behind him, he is even more ruthless. But he is also very clear-headed. He is rampant because of his power, not because he is strong enough. He knows who he can mess with and who he can't mess with. This Chu Xianfeng is not someone I can mess with now. Even Yuan almost died. He doesn't have a strong man who can compare with Yuan. After all, he wants to treat strong men like Yuan as equals. Chu Xianfeng, who defeated Master Yuan, needs him to curry favor with him. It is better to resolve a feud than to create one. Send a visiting card to Chu Xianfeng for me, and attach a valuable gift. The previous minor grudges are nothing, just jealousy. Jeshianli offended the third son of Chu, and he deserved to die. Qin Ming is just a dog, and as for Yuan, I didn't ask Yuan to take action. I just couldn't give him spiritual blood, so he took the initiative to take action. The second son of Qin shook his head, from beginning to end. He was just jealous of Chu Xianfeng. Now Chu Xianfeng lives better than anyone else, and those things are all trivial matters. There is no big hatred in an instant. Making friends with Chu Xianfeng is a big deal. There is no absolute enemy in this world. To play with a woman, it's not worth it. The second son of Qin's eyes flashed. After all, he has Duke Qin behind him. Even if Chu Xianfeng really rises, it will still take some time to reach the height of Duke Qin. Yes, the feminine man breathed a sigh of relief. Chu Xianfeng is now so powerful that it is scary. It is indeed not suitable to be an enemy. On that day, the feminine man brought the visiting card and gift to Su Dong's house. He went to the door in person. He handed the visiting card and waited at the door. After a while, Wang Puqian came out of the house in person. Seeing the feminine man, he walked over with a smile. Brother Wang, I'm here on the orders of the second young master Qin to send you the visiting card. The second young master was young and hot-tempered in the past, and he offended the third young master Chu a lot. I hope the third young master Chu will forgive me. An apology. Wang Puqian's heart moved. The second young master Qin was very humble, but Wang Puqian had already been told by Su Dong. My lord, I will accept this visiting card first, but I can't see the third young master today. Please tell him that the third young master will visit the second young master Qin in person in a few days. Wang Puqian said. Oh, that's great. The second young master will definitely prepare a banquet and prepare beauties to wait for the third young master Chu to visit. The feminine man said. Turning away, he silently thought to himself that Chu Xianfeng seemed to be afraid of Duke Qin. That's right. After all, Duke Qin was the top powerhouse in Xianqi. He was ranked as a duke. If they could make friends, they would make friends. In Nanfeng City, Master Yuan of Jinan sect fought against Chu Xianfeng, and Master Yuan almost died. In Linghe Academy, Li Zuir, dressed in white, held a talisman in her hand. She had specifically told her many friends to tell him the news about Chu Xianfeng as soon as possible. In the past, there were only some romantic stories, and she wanted to stab Chu Xianfeng with a sword every time she heard them. But now, the news about Chu Xianfeng came from the world again and again, and she felt strange and dazed every time. That idiot knows how to practice seriously? This book was recently updated in #at. Update. Su Dong defeated Yuan. According to his estimation, with the style of the second son of Qin, he would not dare to continue to target him, so he specifically told Wang Puqian. As for the shock in Nanfeng City and the world, he could not care. He only told Nangang Yan that he was going to practice Taoism and not to disturb him casually. Then he went into his room. In the room, Su Dong waved his hand. Some items appeared in the room. There were some Taoist books. There were also strange treasures, elixirs, and some talismans. This Yuan is now hundreds of years old. In the past few hundred years, he has indeed collected a lot of treasures. Su Dong looked at the things in front of him. He didn't know the rules of Jinan sect. He worshipped under Yuan. He had to pay tribute to Yuan in order to be cultivated. If he didn't hand in the treasures he got outside, he would be severely punished. After hundreds of years, Yuan naturally had a lot of treasures, but most of these treasures were useless in Su Dong's opinion. The most important one was a scroll. Su Dong reached out and picked up a scroll among the many items and unfolded it. This scroll was 3 feet long and 1 foot wide. The material itself was very unique, not ordinary silk cloth. There are strange Dao implications contained in it, which can be preserved for a long time without being destroyed. The material is extraordinary. The things recorded on it are even more extraordinary. Su Dong looked at the many characters on the scroll. Although it was the second time to look at it, it was still bright in front of his eyes. The scroll is divided into 2 parts. One part is a picture. It is a human-shaped map of the world. The outline is similar to a human figure, but at first glance it looks like a demon shadow. At Su Dong's level, naturally, whether it is a human or a demon, it has no effect on him. The second part is the words. A strong breath emanates from each character. Left behind by the Demon Lord. This is the legendary inheritance scroll left behind by the Demon Lord. 10,000 years ago, there was an extremely powerful person in this world, known as the Demon Lord. The road to the rise of this Demon Lord was extremely bumpy, and the difficult turn was rare in ancient times. After many experiences, this demon lord became the strongest, unprecedentedly strong, shocking in era, unmatched, and unbeatable. There are also countless legends left, one of which is about his inheritance. Legend has it that the demon lord left the realm and went to a wider world to seek a stronger path. Before leaving, he left 3 scrolls. The 3 scrolls record in detail the Taoist inheritance of this demon lord. Sudong said silently, "This is the 2nd scroll. Most of the records are sword techniques. A few Taoist techniques. This sword technique." Sudong looked at the image in the scroll. With his realm, he could easily analyze the fundamentals and mysteries. Faintly, he could see a sword soaring into the sky. The blade was cold and the tip was ferocious, as if it was about to pierce the sky. The whole picture was a set of sword techniques, faintly exuding a terrifying aura that made people's hearts palpitate. Good sword technique. Sudong was also shocked and amazed. Chapter 636, Cosmic Avenue. Buzz. The moment the scroll was fully unfolded, the sound of a sword that shook the world echoed in Sudong's ears. The sound of the sword was too terrifying, as if the shadow had really turned into a demon shadow, which made people palpitate. The sword intent is cold. Extremely cold. Sudong's face was calm, and he analyzed the sword intent in the shadow in detail. This sword intent was different from the terrifying Xian Wei Xian and the fierceness of the Yama sword, but it was extremely cold. But there is no doubt that the level of this sword technique is enough to be comparable to the 9th level of Xian Wei Xian, and it belongs to the peak and extreme sword technique. This demon lord is indeed so strong that it is unbelievable. Even stronger than Sudong's sword technique attainments, much stronger. Of course, this shadow only records the sword technique of the demon lord. The sword technique is dead, and people are alive. Copying it mechanically can only be regarded as inferior. Learning from the profound artistic conception is the way. The demon lord's swordsmanship has 6 styles. Sudong carefully watched the image, observing every stroke of the image, and carefully experiencing the clear sword styles in it. One chop, one cut, swish. Sudong vaguely saw that tens of thousands of years ago, the invincible demon lord, with one sword, fought alone against many strong men in the world of that era. Wherever the long sword pointed, it was invincible. No one could stop it. Killing an era, shocking an era. That scene, that swordsmanship made Sudong completely resonate with himself. In Sudong's mind, the soul will began to practice these 6 swordsmanship. The more he practiced, the more he got used to it, and the more he gained. Sudong could even feel the great excitement and desire in his heart. The first 5 styles, everything came naturally. Only the 6th style confused Sudong, but the image was placed in front of him, and Sudong's swordsmanship perception was strong enough, and the two confirmed each other. The speed was quite fast. The demon lord's 6th swordsmanship was called Kaian Kyu, one sword for 1,000 years. Use the sword technique to point directly at time and space. In Sudong's mind, he began to practice this sword technique. 1 day, 2 days. Time passed. For half a month, Sudong was completely immersed in this sword technique practice. This scroll sword technique left by the demon lord was the highest and most advanced sword technique he had ever encountered in this world. The more he practiced and practiced, the more he felt that he had a lot of insights. And with Sudong's order, outsiders did not dare to disturb him. On the 20th day of Sudong's sword technique practice, a burly old man came to the outside of Sudong's mansion with a black spear on his back. He practiced spear techniques all his life, and a spear never left his body. It has become a habit. Xian Feng, I met him when he was 6 years old, a little kid. The burly man smiled happily. I didn't expect that he would become a strong man who could easily defeat the top saints in the blink of an eye. He strode in. The guards at the door still wanted to stop him. Ancestor. Wan Puqian staggered out and knelt respectfully in front of this burly figure. The guards looked at the burly figure in shock. There was only one person that their master could call the ancestor. The Chu ancestor. Okay, get up. Is Xian Feng in the mansion? The Chu ancestor waved his hand and said with a smile. After thousands of years, our Chu family finally produced an extraordinary genius. He defeated Yuan at the age of 18. It's rare. Take me to see him. He smiled. He strode directly into the mansion. Ancestor, the 3rd son is practicing. It's passed down, that he can't be disturbed. Wan Pukian said respectfully. Oh. The Chu ancestor was stunned. Then he smiled. When Boyang brought his third son to see me, I was also practicing, and didn't see him. Now I come to see him specially, and he is also practicing. Haha. Different strengths, different statuses. He is the ancestor, so what? You have to wait to see him. Wan Pukian heard cold sweat on his cheeks. It was obvious that the third son's strength had surpassed the Chu ancestor. Whatever the Chu ancestor thought, he couldn't do anything about it. Practice is important, and being able to indulge in practice is a good thing. Don't disturb him. The Chu ancestor waved his hand and turned to walk towards the hall. Yes. Wan Pukian nodded repeatedly. In the capital of the ancient dragon kingdom, there is an organization that specializes in collecting a lot of intelligence information in the world, called Sahelao. Like the Shenlong book, many secrets of masters in the world are from their hands. The scope of the information is wide and the credibility is extremely high. It is also quite famous in the ancient dragon kingdom. Today, many figures gathered in the Sahelao. Is this news true? Too shocking. The world is speculating how Chu Xianfeng rose overnight. It turns out to be like this. The Demon Lord's legacy. The 3 scrolls left by the Demon Lord. The third scroll appeared in the hands of the Lord of Fian City hundreds of years ago, and then the Lord of Fian City died, and the third scroll disappeared. Where are the first and second scrolls? It has always been a mystery. The Demon Lord's legacy is of great importance, and even the strong who have obtained it dare not publicize it. I didn't expect that the second volume would fall into the hands of Chu Xianfeng. Everyone was shocked. This was a big secret. The Demon Lord's legacy was the top inheritance. It was a great honor to obtain it. This book was recently updated on #@. Update. No wonder Chu Xianfeng rose so quickly. It turned out that he got this top inheritance. The top inheritance is the top inheritance. He used to be a playboy, but in the blink of an eye he became a top-notch strongman. Who wouldn't be eager and envious? The top leaders of our organization already know about it. Now that the news has leaked, there is no need to hide it. Just spread it all over the world. This Chu Xianfeng is still immature in strength. The Chu family behind him can't protect him. If he wants to snatch the Demon Lord's legacy, he should do it as soon as possible. Yes, our Sahelao top leaders are all tempted and are ready to take action. However, this is a big deal. It's best to take the initiative and try to do it in secret. In the end, no one knows who the inheritance has fallen into. Several figures discussed. After some discussion, they decided to postpone the news for a few days before sending it out. Yuan sat in the Jinan sect. His face was as hen. My message has been passed to Sahei Tower, the world's #1 killer organization, the Iron Claw League. These forces are not easy to mess with. They will secretly attack Chu Xianfeng. Master Yuan's face was full of pain. The Demon Lord's legacy was originally his, but now it fell into Chu Xianfeng's hands. How could he be willing? Even if he couldn't get the inheritance, he couldn't let Chu Xianfeng get away with it. Wait, in 2 days, the news will eventually spread, and I will inform Master. His plan didn't even think about letting his master get the scroll. He didn't have any feelings for King Jinan in his heart. That afternoon, in Sudong's room, this 6th style, in terms of the difficulty of the mystery, is comparable to the 9th level of the Xian Wei Xian sword method, but I feel that it is progressing very quickly. He studied the Demon Lord's 6th style for more than 20 days. For example, when practicing the 9th level of the Xian Wei Xian sword method, he was almost able to break through with a little inspiration, but he was always stuck. For a long time, he practiced the Yama sword and integrated the mystery of the sword into the Yama sword heart-slaying style. It can be regarded as a small step forward in swordsmanship. Both swordsmanships are swordsmanships of the great Dao of life and death. But the swordsmanship of the Demon Lord is the swordsmanship of the great Dao of space and time. Two completely different great Daos. As soon as Sudong practiced, he made amazing progress in the 6th style of the Demon Lord's swordsmanship. Am I born to fit the great Dao of the universe? Sudong couldn't help but wonder. In the past, He dug into the Taoist scriptures and created the Xian Luo Wang Xiang body method, which shows his understanding of the great Dao of space and time. It's just that there is no guidance in the void, but this world has the guidance method of the great Dao of the universe. Not only the great Dao of the universe, but even the 4 supreme great Daos have detailed guidance. Chapter 637 coveted by all parties. In fact, Su Dong had doubted in the past whether the vast void was higher than this world, because in terms of the systematic nature of the Tao in the void is very scattered. The Holy Spirit path points directly to the great Dao of life and death, but the Purgatory clan and the King body path of the Two Realms galaxy are more inclined to the Tao of all things. For example, the Tao of heart and desire has almost never been heard of. This small world has such detailed guidance on 4 supreme great ways, and there are also 3,000 small ways listed. It's incredible. The Demon Lord broke through the realm and went to a wider world to pursue a stronger path. Where did he go? Su Dong wondered. If this world is just the tip of the iceberg of another powerful void, perhaps it can be explained. Another 6 days passed. Su Dong opened his eyes, and a knife light flashed in his eyes, like lightning, and a satisfied smile appeared on his face. I understand it. The 6th style of the sword technique left by the Demon Lord, Kyan Kyu. I finally understand it. Haha. It was also because his understanding of the way of time and space was more terrifying than that of the way of life and death, so he easily understood it. It was also the first time that he had made further progress in his swordsmanship since he came to this world, and he had gained a lot. Swordsmanship can be learned from each other. The more swordsmanship you master, the stronger it is, and the greater the improvement in your own strength. The Xian Weishan swordsmanship itself is the first swordsmanship in the void, compiled by the Xian Qi Rinsheng Emperor with the strengths of many schools. Su Dong said silently, step by step, I have an extraordinary opportunity. I can learn from many powerful swordsmanship. The more I learn, the higher my swordsmanship achievements will be. This is a process of accumulation. One day, quantitative change will reach qualitative change, and that will be the day of true success. In terms of strength, this Demon Lord was enough to dominate an era in the past, and the legends are unprecedented. It is indeed well deserved. Just talking about this swordsmanship, it can crush the world strong. There are very few skills left in the 2nd volume, and the skills are directly aimed at the avenue. If I can get the 3 scrolls left by this Demon Lord, it will be perfect. Su Dong stood up and walked out of the door. It was evening at this moment, and the setting sun dyed the sky red. 3rd young master. The guards in the courtyard were startled and hurriedly saluted respectfully. The 3rd young master has been practicing for nearly a month, and he has not stepped out of the door for a month. Why did he come out today? Outside the courtyard was Nangang. She has been waiting every day these days. Young master. Nangang heard the guard's voice and hurriedly walked into the courtyard. Well, the practice time is a little longer this time. Su Dong couldn't help but smile. The higher the strength of the young master, the longer the practice time will be. After all, the stronger the person, the harder it is to make further progress. Nangang said. Yes, it's getting harder and harder. Su Dong sighed. Young master, the ancestor has been waiting for a long time to come to visit. Nangang whispered. Oh, go and see him. Su Dong hurriedly went to see the Chu ancestor. The Chu ancestor was upright, but he was obsessed with spearmanship. As soon as he saw the ancestor only talked for 3 sentences and then led the topic to spearmanship. Oh, spearmanship can be performed like this? Discuss with Su Dong. Su Dong has done a lot of research on the 9-9 demon breaking spear. As soon as he pointed, the Chu family ancestor's eyes suddenly brightened. The Chu family ancestor used to be obsessed with spearmanship. His research on spearmanship even surpassed the Dao, but obsession does not mean high comprehension. Su Dong shook his head. The Chu family ancestor's comprehension was average, and it was because of his obsession that he achieved what he has today. With hard work and diligence, he had already studied the demon breaking spearmanship to the extreme. But it is extremely difficult to innovate. Su Dong pointed. He felt that he had a new direction to move forward. That's it. When the Chu family ancestor talked about spearmanship, he completely forgot everything and studied and conceived it alone. Sudong walked out of the room alone. He and the Chu family discussed the Dao, and Nangang Yan and others naturally did not dare to be present. Whoosh! Sudong's figure flew into the air. Before, when I was practicing, I felt that there were many more powerful auras around this mansion. Not only powerful, but also mutually restraining. A cold light flashed in Sudong's eyes. Was it directed at him? If you come for me, then follow me. Sudong's figure instantly crossed the night sky and turned into a residual shadow flying towards the capital city. It was just a flyby, with very little fluctuations, and Sudong's aura was well hidden, without any leakage, but someone with ulterior motives had already laid a net here. Naturally, his traces were easily discovered. It's Chu Shai and Feng. Want to escape? How dare Chu Shai and Feng come out? Three figures moved at the same time in secret. They were the top masters of the world's #1 killer group, Sahei Tower, and Iron Claw League. They were for the inheritance of the Demon Lord on Sudong. As soon as they moved, Sudong couldn't help but smile. They really came for me, and each of them has a much higher aura than the ancestor of the Chu family, and higher than Yuan. Are they masters of the Xianqi realm? After a little consideration, he knew that they were definitely not sent by the second son of Qin. Not to mention that Qin had already admitted his cowardice and wanted to make friends with him. A single heir holding the banner of Duke Qin could not drive these masters of the Xianqi realm. This book has been recently updated on #@. Update. No matter if it has anything to do with Qin, I'm here to find Qin today. Sudong flew all the way. After a while, he flew over a quiet courtyard. Sudong looked at the courtyard below. Is this the place written in the file? Qin Ming has caused a lot of trouble for the second son of Qin. Is this the source? The mansion is full of yin energy. It is not a good place at first glance. Whoosh! Sudong flew down directly. His perception spread out, and in an instant, he could clearly see the figures in the mansion. Two men in brocade robes, one handsome and one ugly, were sitting opposite each other drinking and talking. Two Xianqi realm masters? Sudong's perception saw it clearly. Passing by these two figures, in a large room with the most guards, the tall man, the second son of Qin, was entangled with a beautiful woman on the bed, in the most hidden corner of the mansion. That is. Sudong was suddenly shocked. In the secluded courtyard, there was a beast with a scarlet glow. It was as long as a python, with a pair of extremely slender pupils from top to bottom, revealing a cold and murderous intent. Spirit race? Another creature that dominated this world, similar to a beast, was also called a spirit beast. But this beast had a very strong aura of ferocity, and had long been one of the most ferocious beasts. Sudong didn't know that this beast was captured by Duke Qin, and kept in captivity for its spiritual blood. After being cut open for a long time to extract blood, any creature would become crazy and violent. Naturally, it became a ferocious beast. So those hearts of living people are used to keep this beast. Sudong's eyes turned cold. Then his body flashed and fell into the secluded courtyard. It was the turn of the ferocious beast. The ferocious beast had 4 claws on its abdomen. The claws were bound with golden iron chains. As soon as he saw a living figure appear in front of him, the pair of scarlet snake pupils suddenly burst into a terrifying bloodthirsty light. Who dare to break into the Qin mansion? Swish! 2 figures instantly appeared from above the wall next to them, staring coldly at Sudong below. Is it the yin and yang ghosts? These 2 old ghosts are actually here. What does Chu Shai and Feng want to do? The 3 Xianqi realms in the dark all frowned, hiding in 3 different directions of the night sky, looking at the scene in the other courtyard below. Chapter 638 Yin Yang Ghost. Sudong frowned slightly, looking coldly at the 2 figures that appeared in the courtyard. One of them had an extremely handsome face, and looked about 17 or 18 years old, dressed like a young man, while the other was extremely ugly, with crisscrossing scars on his cheeks. The yin and yang ghosts? Sudong spoke with an icy voice. The yin and yang ghosts, both over 500 years old, were well-known masters of the Xianqi realm. The yin ghost Yuan Heo practiced the extreme yin method. It was said that he had a very high talent when he was young, and he became a disciple of the immortal Taoist. He reached the Xianqi realm at the age of 200, and it has been nearly 300 years since then. The Yang Ghost Yilong also became a disciple of the immortal Taoist, but the method they practiced was the extreme Yang method. They rose to prominence because of extraordinary opportunities and obtained lost skills. The two of them, one yin and one yang, were ruthless and elusive, so they were nicknamed Old Ghosts. It was easy to recognize them. The yin ghost Yuan Hao was handsome and always looked like a handsome young man, while the yang ghost He Long looked extremely ugly and ferocious, which made people terrified. In fact, when their strength reached this level, it was easy to change their appearance. But He Long liked to keep this ugly appearance. Legend has it that He Long was also handsome when he was young, and he became a disciple of the immortal Taoist, and his face was destroyed by the immortal Taoist. It is unknown what happened between the two brothers. Anyway, after they became powerful, the two joined forces to hunt down the immortal Taoist for decades. During that period of time, the yin and yang ghosts were known to the world for hunting down their master, the immortal Taoist, and the rumors were even more rampant. After all, killing a master is such a treasonous act that is still despised by the world. There were many twists and turns in the process. The immortal Taoist sought protection from a famous strong man in the world. In the end, it was Dukin who came forward to intimidate the person who protected him and made him retreat. In the end, the immortal Taoist fought with the yin and yang ghosts. The immortal Taoist died. The reputation of the yin and yang ghosts also spread throughout the world. For more than 300 years, their strength has become more unfathomable, but their whereabouts have also become a mystery. I didn't expect to see them in this small courtyard. You know it's us, why don't you run away? The handsome yin ghost Yuan Hao sneered. Why do I feel that he looks familiar? Yang ghost He Long's whispered. His eyes were like wolves, staring at Sudang. Is there anyone who wants to harm Ling Zun? A voice sounded from the direction outside the courtyard. Swish. Swish. 9 figures quickly shuttled into the courtyard. The place where the second Sun Kin was located. He had a very high status, and there were many masters and guards around him. There are 9 guards in the sainthood realm. The tall second young master Kin walked in. A feminine man followed him. Is it you? Third young master Chu? Kinner, wearing a loose black robe, stood behind the 9 guards with an indifferent expression and cold eyes. Third young master Chu? Is he Chu Xianfeng? The yin and yang ghosts looked at each other. Recently, news about Chu Xianfeng has been flying everywhere, so they have naturally heard about him. Because they have seen his portrait, it is no wonder that he looks familiar. Chu Xianfeng, I wanted to make friends with you. After all, it is better to have more powerful friends, but I didn't expect you to find this place by yourself. From your eyes, are you here to kill me? Kinner snorted coldly, and a fierce light flashed in his eyes. Sudang's face was also cold. Make friends? From the secret bloodthirsty poison he secretly put on him, to the fact that Kinner had dealt with him several times, and the fact that he secretly caused trouble, Sudang had already made up his mind to kill him. This second young master Kin, it is not a pity to die. Kinner, today is the day you die. Sudang said coldly. It's ridiculous. Chu Xianfeng, what do you think this place is? You can't be so arrogant. Kinner sneered and took a step back. The 9 guards and the feminine man beside him also stepped back. The yin and yang ghost sneered and stepped forward. It's been a long time since I killed a young master. I heard that you have a great opportunity and rose to prominence overnight. Is this the reason for your arrogance? The two of them burst out with a surging terrifying momentum at the same time, and the power of the Xianqi realm instantly covered the entire courtyard. Yin Ghost Yuan Hao is good at palm techniques, Xianine palm techniques, which are famous all over the world. The cold momentum swept over, and the surrounding air condensed into frost. Yang Ghost He Long is good at boxing, and the boxing techniques are extremely yang and strong. There is a fierce wind blowing between heaven and earth. Boom. The yin and yang ghosts attacked at the same time, punching and palming at Sudang. The two of them joined forces. They were masters of the Xianqi realm 300 years ago. Now 300 years have passed. Their strength has become more and more advanced, and they burst out in an instant, which is a shocking killing move. The 3 figures watching in secret were also nervous. They were all nervous for Sudang. Those 2 old ghosts are really shameless. They have been famous for hundreds of years. They joined forces to deal with a junior. If Chu Xianfeng died, would he carry the scroll left by the Demon Lord? They were extremely nervous, fearing that Sudang would die directly. The yin and yang ghosts were difficult to deal with. If the two attacked at the same time, they would not be opponents. Sudang's face was calm, and he shook his long sleeves, and a long sword fell into his hand. Die. He used his sword skills. Recently, his sword skills have been further improved, and these sword skills also need to be verified. A sword light swung out. The sword light was hazy, completely blocking the fist and palm power. The power fluctuations of their fight spread, and also caused the walls of the entire courtyard to break instantly. The beast restrained its ferocity. It panicked and drilled into a corner of the courtyard. After all, it was psychic. It was easy to kill such a strong man, so it would naturally be afraid. Fighting. What? Chu Shai and Feng was able to fight against the two yin and yang masters without losing? This book was recently updated on #@. Update. He has just reached the Saint Realm. The guards around the second son of Qin surrounded him. They protected him and hid far away. When he saw the strength that Sudang burst out, his heart tightened. He thought that the yin and yang ghosts could easily kill Chu Shai and Feng, but now, the yin and yang ghosts joined forces, and Chu Shai and Feng was not at a disadvantage? Not good. Senior brother, how can Chu Shai and Feng's swordsmanship be so strong? The sword lights are one after another, continuous, without any flaws. The yin and yang ghosts were shocked. They have also fought with many sword masters, and many powerful masters who have achieved success in the sword, have died in their hands. But in terms of swordsmanship, Chu Shai and Feng is enough to rank first among the masters they have fought. This Chu Shai and Feng is so powerful. The more they fought, the more frightened they became. The sword technique of the Demon Lord emphasizes speed. The sixth style is the Kaian Kyu style. It is so fast that it can even disrupt time and space. Sudang said silently. Kaian Kyu style. He swung the long sword in his hand. Wow. The sword was swung out at a speed that seemed extremely slow, so slow that it seemed as if Sudang's movements were completely still. The eyes of the yin and yang ghosts lit up. They were both experienced warriors, so they would naturally counterattack immediately for such a mistake. The two of them punched and slammed out. For a moment, the power was like a raging wave, rolling up. But then a flash of sword appeared in front of them. This sword light was unavoidable and unstoppable. It crossed time and space. It was just a flash. The yin and yang ghosts felt a chill in their hearts. But they had no time to react at all, and the sword light instantly slashed across their necks. The powerful power even instantly wiped out their consciousness, and they were dead in the blink of an eye. What? The two yin and yang elders are dead now. The second son of Qin, who was watching this scene from a distance, had his eyes wide open, and his heart sank to the bottom of the valley in an instant. Chapter 639, Human or Monster. Yin and Yang Ghost, they are the top masters under Duke Qin. They were arranged here, to take care of the spirit beasts, not for him. The second son of Qin was not qualified to command these two strong men. Such a strong man died in a moment. Is this Chu Shai and Feng a human or a demon? The second son of Qin was horrified. Protect the young master. Protect the spirit master. At the critical moment, it was the feminine man who reacted first. He shouted loudly, "Young master, quickly contact the Duke. This Chu Shai and Feng is too strong. Only the Duke can deal with him." The feminine man also sent a voice to Qin. Kill. Kill. The 9 guards and the feminine man were all the death warriors around Qin. They drew their weapons and rushed towards Sudang. Sudang's face was indifferent. He waved the long sword in his hand. Swish. A single blade light seemed to rise in the space. It immediately cut over the heads of the guards, including the feminine man, and the same blade passed. No. The 9 guards, the feminine men, all widened their eyes in fear. The knife light was too fast, so fast that they could not control their bodies to dodge. 10 heads were thrown into the air. Blood was scattered, staining the ground red. Only Sudang and Qin were left in the courtyard. Qin stood there blankly. It's over. It's over. How can this Chu Shai and Feng be so strong? How can he be so strong? In front of such a strong man, identity and status are all nonsense. Strength is everything. Strength crushes everything. Shai and Feng. No. Master Chu, I was wrong. I shouldn't have competed with you for the fairy Fiu. Everything is my fault. I'm willing to make up for it. Kina fell to his knees and begged for mercy. For my father's sake, spare my life. Sudong's face was cold. If you kill me, my father will definitely not. Sudong raised his eyebrows. He stretched out his hand. Kina was so scared that he even closed his eyes. Then he felt as if his neck was clamped by an iron hoop. He opened his eyes and found himself being held by Sudong like a chicken. This Chu Xianfeng won't kill me. Kina was delighted. If he wanted to kill him, he could kill him with one knife. Yes, he is also afraid of my father. Just punish me. Any punishment is fine, as long as he doesn't kill me. He was looking forward to it. But then he saw Sudong turned around and walked to the spirit beast he had been feeding. The latter was huddled in the corner in fear. No, no. Kina's eyes were full of panic. Then Sudong threw him casually, and he was thrown in front of the spirit beast. The latter dodged, but then saw that it was Kina. The fierce light flashed in the snake's pupils, and the mouth opened and bit its neck. Sudong watched this scene coldly. How many innocent people died in the hands of Kina just to feed this beast? Of course, this beast was kept in captivity and bled by Kina every day and hated Kina even more. Puff. The knife flashed. The beast's head was also split in two. Blood gushed out, and the huge body fell to the ground with the iron chain. So far, the biggest troublemakers in this courtyard have all been killed. Sudong casually searched the Yin Yang Ghost and Kina's Kyankan sleeve. After all, the Yin Yang Ghost were both Xianqi realm powerhouses who had practiced for 500 years, and they had a lot of classics and methods collected on them. At their level, it is not difficult to find a mountain in the world to establish a sect. Kina also has a lot of treasures. Then he looked up at the night sky. The night sky is divided into 3 directions, and there are 3 figures in the 3 directions. They have been watching secretly just now, although they think they are all good at hiding. Even the Yin Yang Ghost can't find them. Every profession has its own specialty. These 3 Xianqi realm masters born in the world's #1 killer group, Sihei Tower, and Iron Claw League are best at concealing assassinations. But at this moment, seeing Sudong looking at the night sky, although they are divided into 3 directions, they all feel that Sudong's eyes are looking at them, and their faces suddenly changed. Oh no, we've been discovered. This Chu Xianfeng is too evil. I thought he was only at the sainthood realm, but who knew he was far beyond the heavenly key realm? There might be a chance for assassination, but a head-on confrontation? I'm no match for him. They didn't know that Sudong knew they were following them from the beginning. Since he was sure that they had bad intentions towards them, what else could they say? Swish. A flash of knife suddenly appeared in the night sky. Puff. The heavenly key realm expert from the world's #1 assassin group was just about to sneak away, but his speed was nowhere near as fast as Sudong's knife, and his neck was cut off by a knife. The body fell down. This book was recently updated in #at. Update. What a fast knife. The 2 heavenly key realm experts from the Iron Claw League and the 4 Seas Tower were both choked. This knife technique was too fast and too terrifying. Do you guys come out on your own, or do I do it directly? Sudong spoke, his cold voice resounding throughout the night sky. I surrender. A Xianqi realm expert from Sihei Tower emerged from the night sky. He was short and covered in black robes. Only a pair of eyes flashing with brilliance were revealed, and at this moment, he looked at Sudong below with awe. I'm the owner of the 3rd floor of Sihei Tower, Sikungming. He took the initiative to report his identity. Sihei Tower is quite famous in the world. It collects intelligence information from all over the world, so naturally, tracking and investigation are indispensable. There is also a saying for reporting one's identity. To put it bluntly, they are the paparazzi of this world. And at the moment, when Sikungming showed his figure in the other direction, the strong man of the Iron Claw League in the dark immediately activated his magic weapon, turned into a flash of lightning, and burst out at an astonishing speed, flying towards the horizon. Because the speed was too fast, the airflow was blasted by lightning, and a muffled sound rang in the sky, like thunder. Go out? Chu Xianfeng is so murderous that he is clearly going to kill. If he knew that I was coming for the Demon Lord scroll, he would have killed me to silence me. Going out would mean death, so he might as well give it a try. Taking advantage of the moment, when Sikeng diverted Sudang's attention, he instantly activated the flying treasure. The escape talisman is a top-level flying treasure I got in a secret place. It can travel 1,000 miles in an instant. No matter how fast his sword is, it will be late. Can he catch up with me? He was full of confidence. Sudang shook his head. Wow. A sword light illuminated the night sky and instantly penetrated 100 miles, leaving a few blurred sword shadows in time and space. In the blink of an eye, it was behind the Iron Claw League strongman. So fast? The Iron Claw League strongman hurriedly tried to stop him, but the sword light had already pierced his chest, and his figure paused instantly. The Demon Lord's sword technique is a fast sword, and the sixth sword technique touches the avenue of time and space. Time and space are reversed, and the sword light can penetrate time and space in an instant. Escape. How to escape? Unless one also has a high level of attainment in time and space, there is no chance to escape. Dozens of miles in this city, someone saw a flash of lightning in the sky, followed by a strange arc that came in the blink of an eye, and then disappeared. The body of the Iron Claw League fell down, and landed next to a down-and-out teenager. The down-and-out teenager was ragged, and looked like a beggar. He was shocked to see a corpse falling in front of him. But after being surprised, he hurried forward, and tore off the Kyankan sleeves on the corpse. He turned around, and ran into the alley. Fortunately, I didn't run away. Sikeng cheeks turned pale under his black robe, and cold sweat broke out. Sudang casually searched the Kyankan sleeves of the corpse of the world's #1 killer group. He found a talisman. The world's #1 killer group. Sudang glanced at the talisman, and then looked at Sikeng. Tell me, why are you spying on me? Thanks to musician. Thanks to bookfriend 42,682 for the reward. Thank you. Chapter 643 volumes. Sikeng body trembled. This Chu Xianfeng is so powerful, they even want to kill him. They are really courting death. Feeling the coldness in Sudang's eyes, Sikeng quickly told Sahelao the intelligence received, saying that Chu Xianfeng's rapid rise was due to the many intelligence left by the Demon Lord. Left by the Demon Lord? Sudang looked at him. Yes. I just came to see and inquire about the information. The other two are Ryuki from the world's #1 assassin group, and the one who just wanted to escape is Mahi from the Iron Claw League. Sikeng looked obedient and innocent. Sahelao also does underground business, but it is much more formal than the world's #1 assassin group and the Iron Claw League. But Sudang's face was cold. Just spying on intelligence. Do you need a strong man in the Xianqi realm to take action? Sikeng was immediately frightened. Yes, I know I was wrong. We, Sahelao, had bad intentions and wanted to get a piece of the pie. This was a big mistake. Sikeng said, by the way, the first person who passed the information to Sahelao was Yuan from Jin Dynasty. He was deliberately provoking and wanted to target you. Yuan's defeat to Sudang was known to everyone in the world. In his opinion, Yuan must hate Sudang to the bone, so he spread rumors. After all, the more famous you are, the more gossip you will have. The Demon Lord's scroll is indeed in my hands. Sudang sneered. Sikeng was stunned. Then panic appeared in his eyes, and his knees softened, and he fell to the ground with a plop. Young master, spare me. This was a big secret, and Sudang actually told him directly. Isn't this going to kill him to silence him? Sudang put the long knife in his sleeve. Don't worry, I won't kill you. I just need you to do something for Sahelao. Young master, please tell me. Sikeng's head was covered with cold sweat. You have seen what happened today. Your Sahe Tower is not the best at spreading information and intelligence. Spread it all out. Tell the world that the second scroll left by the Demon Lord is indeed in my hands. Sudang said. Sikeng opened his eyes wide. Young master? But Sudang just flashed his eyes, and Sikeng quickly shut up. Also, send the information of the other two scrolls of the Demon Lord and the many powerful inheritance information in your Sahe Tower to my house. Sudang said coldly. Who in the world is most eager to obtain the inheritance of the Demon Lord? Naturally, it is the strong who have obtained part of the inheritance. Sudang is looking for it aimlessly alone. I'm afraid that he will not find it even after hundreds or thousands of years. It is better to wait for someone with a heart to deliver it. All the information? Sikeng blinked. It would cost a lot to get these. But he could feel the coldness in Sudang's eyes. Today's matter, he had saved his life. How dare he hesitate now? Yes, young master. Sikungming nodded hurriedly. That night, Chu Shai and Feng went on a killing spree in the residence of the second son of Qin. Not only were the yin and yang ghosts killed on the spot, but the second son of Qin also died on the spot. Even the Tushai and Qi realm masters of the world's #1 killer group and the Iron Claw League also died. This record made the entire Qin Guogang's forces tremble. Although Qin Guogang is known as the top 3 masters of the Shenlong ancient country, Qin Guogang Shenlong is elusive and his power is huge. But there are only a few masters like the yin and yang ghosts under his command. They died like this. It is indeed frightening. Of course, only a few people paid attention to the second son of Qin in this battle. The most important thing is the intelligence information from the Sihei Tower. The second volume of the Demon Lord scroll is in Chu Shai and Feng's hands. Chu Shai and Feng, who has inherited the legacy, is now close to the top of the Qianqi realm. This is no longer a secret. Once it is made public, the world is shocked. There are countless masters who pay attention to Chu Shai and Feng. The next day, Sudong was in the residence of Nanfeng City. Sir, these are the many files sent by Sihei Lao. Nangang Yan handed a stack of books to Sudong. Sudong took it with a chuckle. As soon as he flipped through it, his eyes lit up. Sihei Lao is indeed a big force in intelligence. This file, with all kinds of information about the 3 scrolls, left by the Demon Lord, even if it was just a rumor. But as long as it involves some marginal information. In short, as long as it is related to the 3 scrolls left by the Demon Lord, all of them are recorded on it. Of course, after tens of thousands of years, some of the information recorded on it cannot be verified. Even many of the strong people recorded in the information have died. The first volume of the Demon Lord's scroll is most likely in the hands of the Sword Saint of the Northern Ice Country. Sword Saint, one of the top peak strongmen in this world. His experience is also extremely mysterious. He rose from an ordinary person to a giant and established the Northern Ice Country. His strength has long been unbelievable. It is said that the king of the ancient country of Shenlong could not even withstand a sword in front of the Sword Saint. The first volume of the Demon Lord scroll is said to be in the hands of the Sword Saint, but for a long time, no one dared to verify it, let alone snatch it. This book was recently updated in #@. Update. The reason why Sihei Lao suspected that the first volume was in the hands of the Sword Saint was because the Northern Ice Country had sent an envoy to secretly look for the last 2 volumes left by the Demon Lord. Since they are only looking for the last 2 volumes, there is no doubt that the first volume is in the hands of the Sword Saint. Sudong's eyes were fiery. The Sword Saint has been famous for a long time. He is an absolute top powerhouse, and his strength can be ranked in the top 3 in the whole world. The 3 strongest human beings in the world today. The Sword Saint of the Northern Ice Country, the Ghost King of the Heavenly Ghost Sect, and the Ancient God of the Ancient God Country. These 3 powers are recognized as the strongest, and their skills have long reached the level of breaking the realm. A country can be destroyed in front of them. Of course, although they are very strong, there is still some gap compared to the Demon Lord 10,000 years ago. The Demon Lord is absolutely invincible and unprecedented. If it is said that the first volume is suspected to be in the hands of the Sword Saint, then the second volume has been confirmed to be in Chu Shai and Feng's hands. According to Sudong's request, Sihei Lao made a big publicity. Chu Shai and Feng got the second volume of the Demon Lord scroll. His power has greatly improved, and his swordsmanship has reached an extremely terrifying level. He killed the yin and yang ghosts with 1 sword. The Qianqi realm strongmen of the Iron Claw League and the world's first killer group were not his enemies. It is worth mentioning that before Chu Sangangzi got the Demon Lord scroll, he had already risen. Once he realized the truth and defeated Yuan, he got the second volume of the Demon Lord scroll from Yuan. He learned the Demon Lord's swordsmanship. Sudong smiled. He didn't ask Sihei Lao to add this sentence. Sikungming was tricked by Yuan once, and he also wanted to retaliate. In fact, when this news spread all over the world, Yuan and Jin Dynasty sect was stunned. He was ready to escape at the moment, but he was one step too late. He was directly caught by Jin and Dharma King and made all kinds of excuses. But Jin and Armor King was so cruel that no matter how Yuan argued, he forcibly searched his soul and knew everything. King Jinan gnashed his teeth in hatred and immediately killed Yuan and threw his body under Jinan Mountain. This further proved that the information from Sihela was correct. The second scroll of the Demon Lord was in Chu Shai and Feng's hands. The third scroll of the Demon Lord is also suspected to have appeared in the ancient kingdom of Shenlong. The last piece of information was very vague. The third scroll was the only one that really had only clues. Outside Nanfeng City, a beautiful flying boat was hovering in the sky, and on the flying boat was a beautiful woman like a fairy. In her hand, there was also the intelligence file of Sihela. Things are unpredictable. A few days ago, I accompanied Kinner to travel around the mountains and rivers, and now he is dead. Chu Shai and Feng, I used to play with him. But now, he is a powerful master who is threatening Dukekin. Fairy Fiayu shook her head. Things in this world change too fast, making her feel a little dazed. She touched the Leng Yuling in her sleeve again. The palace master ordered me to obtain the Demon Lord scroll from Chu Shai and Feng at any cost. She thought that it shouldn't be difficult. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 641, The Strongest in the World. Based on Chu Shai and Feng's obsession with her in the past, Fei Yu is indeed confident. The same scene also appeared in a river thousands of miles outside Nanfeng City. A large ship was moving fast in the river, and the waves were rolling. A man in white sat on the ship. The man's face was as cold as ice. Sitting there was a white cold air rising around him. The temperature of the entire ship was extremely low. When approaching him, the splashing waves condensed into ice. Next to this man, there were beautiful women who were quite young and enthusiastic. They all practiced well, and they could still resist, even if the surrounding temperature was extremely low. A female Taoist in red walked out of the cabin. With the same extremely cold breath, she walked to the man and sat down. Third brother, are you sure you can get the Demon Lord scroll from Chu Shai and Feng? Yes, the man in white asked. The woman shook her head slightly. For the past 1,000 years, the Holy Lord has been looking for the second scroll. He had hopes, but was disappointed every time. This time, if I'm disappointed again, since I'm here, I will definitely get the second scroll. The white-clothed man's eyebrows were condensed with ice crystals, and his eyes were extremely determined. Don't worry, Chu Shai and Feng's strength is unpredictable, and it's not good to make enemies directly. First use courtesy and then force. If you can get this scroll by paying some price, that's the best. The red-clothed woman said. Sudan killed Yin and Yang ghosts, the world's #1 killer group, and the Cheyenne Key realm strongmen of the Iron Claw League. Now, strong men of this level are naturally afraid of each other, and they act rashly without knowing their strength. That would be stupid. Well, the white-clothed man paused and said no more. And in the southern border, in a strange cave, Dukekin, dressed in a dark green robe, sat cross-legged in meditation. There were all kinds of strange blood in the cave, and some of them even projected strange blood-colored clouds. He likes to wear dark green robes, so his descendants also like to wear dark green robes, in order to please and imitate him. Dukekin can become a top strong man. Naturally, he is also obsessed with cultivation. He comprehends the secret method of Nanjiang that directly points to the great Dao of all things. The method is extremely strange and powerful, but the difficulty is also extremely high, so naturally most of the time he is immersed in cultivation. Unless something earth-shattering happens, no one dares to disturb him. Golden Bat Witch Body. The way of all things. What is the way of all things? Every blade of grass and every tree, every piece of gold, and every stone in the world are all things, and the human body is one of all things. The way of all things takes itself as the foundation and studies all things to fill itself. This is similar to Sudong's infinite divine blood evolution, both of which are to improve the divine body. But, a slight vibration came from Dukekin's sleeves, and the vibration was very slight. But Dukekin frowned. Aina, please help. The full name of the second son of Kin is Kinshin. Because he is the second child, he is called Kinner. Dukekin took out the talisman, and then a murderous look flashed in his eyes. Chu Xianfeng wants to kill him. Who is this Chu Xianfeng? Which Xian Qi realm master? Dukekin frowned. He had never heard of this person in the ancient country of Shenlang, who dared to mention a playboy in front of him in the past. But then his whole body trembled slightly. The palm holding the talisman could not help but tremble. With his strength, he would not tremble, even if the sky fell, but he trembled at this moment, but soon stabilized. But the murderous aura in his eyes became stronger. Dead. Aina is dead. I have 6 sons, and Aina likes me the most. He died just like this. Chu Xianfeng? Dukekin spoke silently, and all kinds of blood around him boiled quietly, and endless pressure spread and converged. Not only Chu Xianfeng will die, but his family, relatives, and friends will all die. Dukekin put away the talisman and started practicing again, as if nothing had happened just now. But the calmer it is now, the more terrible the revenge will be in the future. In Sudong's mansion. Sihayla is indeed a big intelligence network. They know all the secrets. Sudong looked at the file in his hand. There were some secrets in the world. These were all things that Chu Xianfeng had no right to know or explore in the past. They were all recorded here. Dukekin was born in southern Xinjiang. He has infinite power in Taoism and strange methods. He is said to be the 3rd best master in the Shenlang ancient country. But in the Shenlang ancient country, the strongest is naturally the king. The 2nd is the 7-star sword god Zichang. But it is said that Zichang once fought with Dukekin, who ranked 3rd. Sudong looked at this information with interest. This Dukekin did not fight head on, but only used strange methods. He fought with Zichang for a long time. This book was recently updated in #@. Update. Such a strong man, even if he has not reached the level of breaking the realm in the Great Dao, the power of the small Dao technique has already reached this level. Just with strange methods, he can fight with Zichang. You can imagine how strong his real strength is. The entire southern border of the Shenlang ancient country is the territory of Dukekin. Dukekin is a mysterious dragon that is hard to find. He rarely walks in the mortal world, but every time he shows up, he is very scary. The files of Sihayla clearly state that according to the battle record information, Dukekin's strength has been constantly improving over the past few decades, and the speed of improvement is extremely fast, so fast that it is unbelievable. With his level of strength, such a speed of improvement is even more frightening. This is also the reason why all forces are extremely afraid of Dukekin. Sihayla gave Sudong such detailed information. It also wanted Sudong to be cautious. After all, he killed Kinna. How could Dukekin let it go? Dukekin has not made a move for a long time recently, but the world recognizes that his strength has long been unfathomable. Yes, he can become the Duke of the Shenlang ancient country, second only to one person, and above 10,000 people, and even the king respects him very much. The king of the Shenlang ancient country is the one who opened up a country. Not only the foundation behind him, but also his personal strength are recognized as the best. The strength of a minister respected by such powerful men is naturally incredible. The ruler of the ancient Shenlang kingdom is very good at the divine body, and with his respected status, he has mastered so many Taoist secrets. The ruler of the ancient Shenlang kingdom is just a legendary strongman, and he has a deeper background. It involves a family from ancient times. Sudong shook his head. In terms of strength, he can easily crush the ruler of Shenlang kingdom. What interests him is the many collections of this ruler and the background of the Shenlang family behind him. But such a family guards these backgrounds very deeply. Even the ruler of Shenlang kingdom may not be able to explore them all. In history, many strong men have appeared in this family, some of whom died and perished, but their inheritance has never been leaked or cut off. The most powerful person in the ancient Shenlang kingdom is the ruler of Shenlang kingdom. Since the 3rd scroll left by the demon lord has appeared here, the person who is most likely to get it is His Majesty the ruler. Sudong said silently, but he was not in a hurry. It would be better to wait for clues to come by themselves than to search blindly. He believed that, as long as the strong man who got the demon lord scroll, no one would not be tempted by the 2nd scroll in his hand. The next day, a team of guards walked on the official road leading to Nanfeng City. The guards carried 4 large flags around. A dragon was embroidered on the large flag. The common people walking on the official road, even those who were practicing, bowed and saluted when they saw the large flag and kept away from it. Haven't we reached Nanfeng City yet? There was a luxurious carriage in the team. A fat middle-aged man was lying on his side in the carriage, looking outside through the gauze curtain. Fourth prince. An old man outside smiled. Nanfeng City is ahead. Well, we've arrived at Nanfeng City. Let's go directly to Chu Xianfeng's mansion. The fat middle-aged man in the carriage waved his hand. Chapter 642. Do you want me to be humble? The Chu family is small, but they have been blessed by the emperor for generations. They have Chu Xianfeng, and they also got the Demon Lord scroll. We must get the Demon Lord scroll. The fat middle-aged man said. Yes, this is a big deal for your majesty. The fact that this matter can be handed over to the fourth prince also shows your majesty's trust in the fourth prince. The old man nodded respectfully. Yes. So I must do a good job on this matter. I hope that Chu Xianfeng will know the time. I will come to his house in person and promise him many benefits. It's just an inheritance. The fourth prince chuckled. To be honest, I envy Chu Xianfeng for being so lucky. It was obtained in my Shenlong ancient country, so it is naturally your majesty's great fortune. The old man next to him smiled. The fourth prince smiled even more. Yes, that's right. If the inheritance appeared in the territory of other empires, the ruler of the Shenlong ancient country would have to be cautious if he wanted to take action. But this is in the territory of the Shenlong ancient country, and the Chu family is deeply blessed by the emperor, so naturally things will be much easier. I heard that Chu Xianfeng used to be a man of temperament, who liked to chase after beautiful women. In Linghe Academy, he had an ambiguous relationship with Li Zuye from the Li family. Yes, she is the girl from Li Tukang's family. Now she has also become a top saint, and she is one step away from reaching the Xianqi realm. The old man nodded. The fat fourth prince was more confident at the moment. He had obtained a handwritten letter from Li Zuye through special means, and the content of the letter was quite sincere. If Chu Xianfeng remembered some old feelings, he would definitely be moved. Since ancient times, heroes have been unable to resist the temptation of beautiful women. This is a law. Chu Xianfeng is also a man of temperament, and he will definitely be more susceptible to this. First, send this letter to Chu Xianfeng in the name of Li Zuye. Appeal to his emotions, and then I will visit him. Promise him benefits, and the matter will be settled. The fourth prince closed his eyes and lay comfortably on the bed in the carriage. His majesty has many children, and he is the fourth. His talent for cultivation can be said to be extremely low among many princes. Now he is nearly 1,000 years old, and he is only at the sainthood realm. He is not good at cultivation, but he is better at scheming. He is doing well by using resources from all sides. In Nanfeng City, Su Dong's mansion. Su Dong sat cross-legged in the courtyard, comprehending the Taoist methods left by the Demon Lord alone. Although it was only a small part of the Taoist methods, the Great Dao was similar. By peeping at the Taoist methods, he learned from them. His understanding of the Taoist methods also gradually improved. This inheritance left by the Demon Lord is indeed the top inheritance. It can help me achieve the Great Dao. Su Dong thought silently. In fact, before entering the world of the three-life talisman, his foundation for the Great Dao was already established. He was only one step away from breaking through the Holy Spirit and understanding the Dao of Death. However, this step was a natural chasm, and he always lacked that little bit of understanding. However, since he got the Demon Lord's legacy, although the Great Dao was not exactly the same, perhaps Su Dong did have a higher understanding of the Great Dao of the universe, or perhaps his accumulation was enough. The two phases confirmed that in the past 2 days, Su Dong could even clearly feel that his Dao of the Dao of Death was improving and making progress. Although the amplitude was still small, Su Dong was still ecstatic and constantly comprehending the way of death. Endless death energy appeared around Su Dong, with a strong death light. It seemed to be more terrifying than the ancient corpse cave in Shanhei Peak. Young master. Nangang Yan's voice came from outside the courtyard. Su Dong frowned slightly, opened his eyes, and the death energy around him dissipated. What's the matter? Su Dong looked outside the courtyard. Nangang Yan was holding a letter in her hand. She walked in quickly. respectfully said, "Young master, there is a letter from Miss Li Zuir of Linghua Academy." Sudong took the letter. He told Nangang Yan about Li Zuir, and he wanted Nangang Yan to learn swordsmanship from Li Zuir. Li Zuir was kind, and Chu Xianfeng was taken care of by Li Zuir. The two were both teachers and friends, and their relationship was very close. Nangang Yan naturally did not dare to delay writing to me at this time. Sudong unfolded the letter and took a look, then showed helplessness on his face and shook his head slightly. My master Li Zuir still cares about her family. Li Zuir was once a talented girl in Linghua Academy. She was also very lucky and got the unique teaching of fantasy Wuji sword. She was also very cold, but she only cared about her family. Yes, the Li family did invest a lot for her, but now she just wants more. Once in Linghua Academy, Chu Xianfeng had seen Li Zuir go out in the middle of the night to help one of her cousins solve some problems. To be honest, he had told Li Zuir more than once that the latter had done enough for the family, but she was still trapped in the quagmire of family affection. No way, it's my personality. But I know that using Li Zuir as a line to soften me, this fourth prince has some tricks. Sudong shook his head secretly. He had heard about the fourth prince in the past. He was an average person and liked to form cliques for personal gain, but he didn't do anything big. Compared with Kinner and others, he was quite restrained. Si Hailao spread the news, and the first person to come to the door seems to be the fourth prince. It seems that the third volume left by the Demon Lord is really in the hands of the Lord of the Dragon Kingdom. Sudong smiled. Young master, I heard a lot of rumors today. There are many powerful people in the world who want to harm you. Nangang Yan looked at Sudong with concern. She rarely went out, but she heard some rumors. Now, many intelligences surrounding Sudong have a sense of urgency, like a dark cloud pressing down on the city. The ancestors of the Chu family, Chu Boyang, etc., are not qualified to intervene. Standing in the center of this storm, there is only Sudong. Nangang Yan is naturally worried. Have you heard about it? Sudong was surprised, and then smiled. Don't worry, they are just rotten fish and shrimp. This book has been updated recently in Update. This world. In addition to a few powerful creatures of the spirit race, humans only have the top 3 powerful people who can make him take them seriously. The rest are indeed not worth his attention. Nangang Yan was relieved. She knew her son's strength. Chu Xiangang was surprised that night. The son was a powerful person in the realm of breaking through. That night, the fourth prince entered the city, and his team paraded through the streets, all the way to the outside of Sudong's mansion. This Chu Xianfeng is too arrogant. I sent a visiting card as soon as I entered the city. He knew I was coming, but he didn't come out to greet me. The fourth prince got off the carriage and snorted at the door in front of him. Even the guards at the door didn't even look at him. Your Highness, the fourth prince, this Chu Xianfeng has killed many masters in a row. He is young and vigorous, and he became famous at a young age. It is inevitable that he will be arrogant. The old man next to him said. Do you want me to be humble and knock on the door? The fourth prince glared. Arrogant? It depends on the person. He is the prince of the ancient country of Shenlang. Is it necessary for him to be so arrogant? Fourth prince. For the sake of your majesty's great cause. The old man said. Alright, isn't it just coaxing Chu Xianfeng? The fourth prince has been skilled in political schemes for many years, and he can still tell when to bow his head and when to be tough. I'll go knock on the door myself. He dismissed his attendants, stepped forward in person, and smiled at the guards. Please inform that Nang Shaoqi is here to visit the third son of Chu. There is something important to discuss. Inside the mansion, Sudong, who received the message, waved his hand to let the fourth prince in. He was too lazy to greet him, so he sat in the hall waiting. The fourth prince used Li Zuir as a line, somewhat made him feel unhappy. After a moment, Sudong saw a fat middle-aged man striding over, and next to him was an old man with a kind face. Behind him were 4 beautiful women, each with their own merits. Chapter 643, Ignorance of Current Affairs. This must be the third Prince Chu. He is indeed a young talent, handsome, and extraordinary. Among the 4 princes of Shenlong, the 3rd prince is at the top of the list, and his reputation is well deserved. The 4th prince's fat face smiled like a flower. The eyes that were squinted, because of the distortion of his face, were full of sincerity. If some young people who had not experienced the world were really moved by him, they would think that the 4th prince was friendly and generous. The old man standing next to him saluted Sudong respectfully. As for the 4 beauties behind him, some were shy, while others admired him. Looking at Sudong in the hall, the admiration in their eyes was beyond words. Well, please sit down, 4th prince. Sudong also smiled. Yes, the 4th prince still kept a smile on his face and sat down. But he had already scolded Sudong thousands of times in his heart. After all, his friendliness and generosity were pretended. If he was really friendly and generous, he would not show off. First he sent the invitation, and then he came in reluctantly. Chu Shai and Feng was so arrogant that he didn't even stand up to greet him. However, thinking of what his father had told him, he could only suppress his dissatisfaction. He still had a smile on his face. I recently heard that the 3rd young master Chu defeated powerful enemies in succession, and I admire him very much. My Shenlong ancient country has young talents like the 3rd young master. Only in this way can the country's fortunes become stronger and stronger and reach a higher level. Yes, the 3rd young master is of great use to the country. It is the welfare of the people of my Shenlong ancient country. The old man next to him also echoed. I wonder why the 4th prince came to see me today. Sudong was too lazy to listen to their nonsense and asked directly. Haha. The 4th prince laughed and said, that's right. I heard that the 3rd prince has a scroll in his hand. This scroll is of great use to your majesty in the country. I came here today to ask the 3rd prince to give it to me. Of course. To repay the 3rd prince's kindness, your majesty will confer the title of Duke of Chu on the 3rd prince. From now on, the Chu family will enjoy eternal glory and be on par with the Nan family. Sudong couldn't help but laugh. He really knows how to confer titles. Knowing that he and the Duke of Qin don't get along, he still conferred him the title of Duke. In this way, the two are on equal footing. If it were another young man, he would have gotten excited and agreed immediately. The 4th prince is here for the 2nd scroll of the Demon Lord scroll. The 3rd prince is quick to speak. That's right. The 4th prince nodded excitedly. Sudong shook his head. I would like to ask the 4th prince. Does your majesty have the 3rd scroll of the Demon Lord scroll? This. The 4th prince's face changed. He subconsciously looked at the old man next to him. The old man's face also changed slightly. But after a slight hesitation, the 4th prince nodded and whispered, I'm not satisfied with the 3rd young master. The 3rd volume is indeed in the hands of his majesty, so his majesty must get the 2nd volume in the hands of the 3rd young master. Since you dare to ask, he immediately pointed it out, to let Sudong understand. This scroll cannot be kept, so while you can get some benefits, you should quickly get some benefits. Oh, that's easy. Your majesty, please bring the 3rd volume, and we will exchange it. Other rewards are waived. Sudong smiled. What? The 4th prince's face changed drastically, and he stood up from his chair. The old man also raised his eyebrows. The 3rd young master is so arrogant. You said you want his majesty to exchange with you? The 4th prince's fat flesh stood up. His father was such a person. How could he condescend to be noble? Why not? Sudong looked at him coldly. The 4th prince and the old man felt a chill coming towards them, and they trembled in their hearts. Then they remembered that the young man in front of them was the one who could kill powerful men like Yin Yang and the 2 ghosts at will. In terms of strength, 104th princes were not enough. However, after all, he had been in a high position for a long time, so the 4th prince quickly calmed down and looked at Sudong with a grim face. Chu Shai and Feng, you are really powerful. You dare to exchange scrolls with his majesty. If I pass this message back, it will offend the majesty of heaven, and I'm afraid that your Chu family will be in great trouble. I advise you to stop while you are ahead. Don't be ignorant of the current situation. Sudong sat and glanced at him. Go and pass the message. You. The 4th prince was so angry that his face turned red. His fingers trembled and wanted to point at Sudong, but how could he point at a strong man like Sudong casually? Sudong looked at him. He didn't even dare to raise his hand. He was so angry that he flicked his fingers. Okay. Chu Xianfeng is so tough. I will report all your requests to you, and you can do whatever you want. After saying that, the fourth prince turned around and left. The old man hurriedly followed him, and as for the four women, they all looked at Sudang reluctantly and followed him. Looking at the backs of the fourth prince and others leaving, Sudang sneered. If it weren't for Izui's letter, I would have gone to the palace to get the scroll today. Because of that letter, he was willing to exchange the scroll. He just wanted the content of the inheritance. If that majesty was unwilling, Sudang would naturally have to go to the palace once for the inheritance. The fourth prince walked out of Sudang's mansion with an ugly face. I'm so angry. This Chu Xianfeng, so ignorant of the times. After all, he was a dignified prince with a respected status, but he ended up in disgrace. If he were a small person, he would have exploded long ago, but facing Sudang. After all, he was a top-notch expert who had killed even the Xianqi realm, so he really didn't dare to vent his anger in front of him. Otherwise, Sudang would crush him to death. And who would he go to for justice? This book has been updated recently in #@. Update. This Chu Xianfeng is completely unreasonable, and he still covets the scroll in your majesty's hand. Just based on this, he can be punished for treason. The old man was also full of anger. Report it to your majesty, and your majesty will decide. They left in a rage. Leaving, the fourth prince came in person. Ended up in disgrace. The whole Nanfeng city is full of spies. The fourth prince went to see Sudang at this time, and naturally everyone knew why. In a pavilion on the first floor of Nanfeng City, Fei Yu, dressed in white, sat in front of the window. I have sent 3 visiting cards in the past 2 days, but Chu Xianfeng ignored them. Men are more cruel than women when they are cruel. Fei Yu's eyes were filled with resentment. Chu Xianfeng used to chase her crazily. She was just playing with him. Now she wanted to meet him but couldn't. The fourth prince was in disgrace. Then my Lengayu palace has no hope. She shook her head slightly. When she came, she was still confident and thought she could easily get him. But she didn't expect that she didn't even meet him. Not only her, but also Fei Zuhong, who had a relationship with Chu Xianfeng, had difficulty meeting Sudang. Of course, Fei Zuhong didn't get the order from Lengayu palace about the matter of the Demon Lord scroll. Third brother, it seems that this Chu Xianfeng is not easy to deal with. The red-clothed Taoist woman who also received the news looked at the white-clothed young man in front of her. Well, then don't bother. I will go to see Chu Xianfeng tonight. The white-clothed man had a cold face and a cold voice. The Taoist woman's heart moved. Remind softly. After all, Chu Xianfeng is a master who has obtained the Demon Lord scroll and killed the yin and yang ghosts. Are you sure, third brother? Yes. He uttered a word and stopped talking. The Taoist woman next to him showed a charming smile on her face. Her third brother was the most talented disciple of the Northern Sword Saint and had mastered the secret swordsmanship. If he said he was sure, then it would be done. That night, a stream of light passed over the sky above Sudang's mansion and fell directly into the courtyard. The man in white changed his expression slightly as soon as he fell into the courtyard. On the rockery in the courtyard, a young man was standing. He wiped the long sword in his hand and looked at him with a smile. My friend from the north, I have been waiting for you for a long time. Chapter 644. The 7-star sword god is coming. The young man in white was stunned for a moment, but soon his face returned to calm. Chu Xianfeng. His target was this young man, so naturally he had already known Sudang's appearance in his mind. It's me. Sudang nodded slightly. You knew I was coming? The man in white frowned. He asked himself that his whereabouts in Nanfeng City was secretive, and only he and his junior sister knew about his actions tonight. This Chu Xianfeng was actually waiting for him. Yes. Sudang nodded again, knowing that I was coming, and still so calm. You are the first one. Do you know who I am? The man in white smiled rarely. Yifan, the third disciple of the Northern Sword Saint. Your swordsmanship is close to the realm of breaking through. Among the many disciples of the Northern Sword Saint, you can rank first in swordsmanship. Sudang smiled. Sahelo had already secretly told him this information. Sikung Ming's strength was average, but he was indeed good at finding out information with spies all over the place. Yi Fan's eyes were slightly fixed. Knowing that it was me, you are still so calm. A trace of uneasiness passed through Yi Fan's heart. The feeling that his actions were completely controlled by the other party made him very uncomfortable. Hand over the second scroll left by the Demon Lord, and I won't kill you, he said in a low voice. Sudong shook his head. Then there's nothing to say. Swish. A cold long knife appeared in Yi Fan's hand in an instant. The knife light flashed. His figure turned into a residual shadow, and in the blink of an eye, he was in front of Sudong. Sudong smiled secretly, and he also waved the long knife in his hand. The knife light was like a dream. What? Yi Fan's eyes blurred. He thought that he had received the secret swordsmanship of the Northern Sword Saint. In the way of swordsmanship, except for his master, no one could surpass him. But now, the dream-like sword light lit up and dimmed. The long knife in his hand was thrown out immediately. A wound appeared on his chest, and the wound bled profusely. But he was not dead. The swordsmanship was so terrible. Breaking the realm. Yi Fan's face was as cold as ice, and it was even paler at this moment. Whoosh. Yi Fan turned around and ran away. Sudong just watched, and did not chase him. He put away the knife and stood up. He looked up at the night sky. The Sword Saint of the North is a peak powerhouse. The stronger he is, the more he desires to get closer. He will not be willing to give up the second scroll in my hand, he said silently. Yi Fan failed. Go back and tell him my strength. Such a strong man naturally knows what to do. Treasures belong to the strong. If Sudong was weak, he would not only die at this moment. The Demon Lord scroll on his body had been snatched away by someone. Everything is naturally nothing to say. But Sudong is strong enough. If he wants the Demon Lord scroll again, he has to think carefully about what to do. Whoosh. Yi Fan's figure turned into a residual image. His speed was extremely fast, much faster than that of ordinary Cheyenne Key Realm powerhouses. In the blink of an eye, he flew dozens of miles away. Then he landed in a small courtyard. The red-clothed Taoist woman who had been waiting in the courtyard looked over. When she saw Yi Fan coming back, her face was happy at first. But then she saw the wound on his chest clearly, and her face turned pale again. Third brother, are you injured? She hurried to meet him. Yi Fan shook his head. It's just a flesh wound. It recovered in the blink of an eye. The wound on his chest had indeed recovered. Only some blood was stained on his robe, and he looked quite embarrassed. The red-clothed Taoist was relieved. How is it? She asked softly. Failed. Yi Fan shook his head. That Chu Xianfeng had already ambushed. That's right. Getting such a treasure must have attracted many powerful people. It's normal to arrange many masters to protect Chu Xianfeng. We will make a long-term plan. The female Taoist laughed softly. How many people does he have? Only one. Yi Fan sighed softly. The female Taoist choked. One person? Everyone underestimated Chu Xianfeng's strength. Others only thought that he had suddenly risen and had not yet become a great man. In fact, he had already reached the level of breaking through the realm. That sword method. Until now, recalling the confusing sword light just now still shocked him. The female Taoist was stunned. Breaking through the realm. With their strength, how can they deal with the realm of breaking through the realm? Send a message. Tell the Holy Lord everything. This matter is not something we can get involved in. Yi Fan frowned. Yes. The red-clothed Taoist agreed. Immediately, the proud disciples of the two sword saints sent a message back. This book has been updated recently in #@. Update. The next day, the sun was shining, and Sudong had breakfast. He sat leisurely in the pavilion reading a classic. Nangang Yan was accompanying him. A strange beast flew over the sky, circling in the clouds. A thin middle-aged man stood on the back of this strange beast. The middle-aged man carried an ancient long sword on his back. His temples were grey, but his eyes contained cold murderous aura. His eyes looked down. Is this the residence of Chu Xianfeng? Whoosh. The figure flashed. He immediately swooped down and landed below in the blink of an eye. None of the guards in Sudong's mansion noticed this figure, but Sudong noticed it immediately. A guest is coming. He stood up. Nangang Yan was startled, and then she saw a flash of purple light in the courtyard. The purple light fell in front of the pavilion and condensed into a middle-aged man with a long sword on his back. Nangang Yan looked at the figure with a puzzled look. Sudong also put down the ancient book in his hand and looked forward. Chu Xianfeng, this is not the first time you and I have met, right? My ninth son Zgui is also an old acquaintance of yours. Because of him, you and I have met once. The figure spoke with a blank expression. Hello, Senior Zichang. Sudong bowed. Zichang? Nangang Yan, who was standing next to him, felt nervous when she heard this. This was the second strongest man in the Shenlong ancient country, the 7-star divine sword Zichang. Zichang nodded slightly. He lived for more than 1,000 years. He did not have many descendants. He had his ninth son Zgui 20 years ago. This Zgui had an average talent for cultivation, but he was also good at writing. With his background, he was quite popular. He got the reputation of the fourth young master of Shenlong. Zgui and Chu Xianfeng had some friendship. Therefore, Chu Xianfeng had the honor to meet this Zichang. He was a dandy boy at that time. Unexpectedly, in just a few years, he has grown to this level due to the change of opportunities. It is true that things in the world are unpredictable. Xianfeng, I know you have extraordinary potential, but after all, your foundation is still shallow. His Majesty is determined to get the second scroll of the Demon Lord. You can't keep it, Zichang said. Sudong smiled. So I made a condition. As long as His Majesty is willing, I can exchange scrolls with him to see it. Nonsense. Zichang shook his head. As the king of a country, I advise you to give up the idea of exchanging scrolls with you. Nangang Yan's eyes flashed. This 7-star sword god seems to be a firm supporter of the emperor. He came here today not to reminisce about the past, but to run errands for that Majesty. Sudong's face was calm. Xianfeng, uncle reminds you that His Majesty will not let a talented person like you master the Demon Lord scroll. Zichang had a blank expression. How old is Chu Xianfeng now? Only 18 years old. So terrifying at 18 years old. If he really mastered the 2 volumes of the Demon Lord scroll, what would happen? I won't say anything else. Hand over the Demon Lord scroll. His Majesty will forgive the past. You can be the Duke of Chu, and His Majesty will devote all his efforts to cultivating you. If not, don't blame me for being ruthless. Zichang finished speaking. He stared at Sudong with cold eyes, and had a certain momentum. Sudong smiled. This Zichang is quite interesting. He actually took the attitude of an elder to suppress him. First he persuaded him with good intentions. Then he coerced and lured him. It seems that his brain is not enough. Chapter 645. Within 3 days, since he dared to put forward the conditions to exchange the scroll with His Majesty, he naturally had enough confidence. How could he be afraid? However, he also understood that Zichang's background was different from that of Duke Qin. Zichang came from the army. He was cultivated after performing exceptionally well in the army, and then he grew up step by step to become a strong man. He was too heavily influenced by the army's absolute obedience to orders and the supremacy of royal interests. I hope I can be the same as him. Wholeheartedly obey His Majesty. Dreaming. So Sudong could only chuckle and shake his head. Seeing him shaking his head, Zichang's eyes suddenly showed a strong murderous aura. Chu Xianfeng, it seems that you are determined to disobey. Jaina, step back. Sudong said softly. Nangang Yanlian retreated to a distance. She was also afraid that she would affect the young master. 7-star sword. Greedy wolf breaking evil. Zichang made a move instantly. His fingers rolled like wheels, and the long sword behind him came out of its sheath with a clang. The sword light rose with purple air, and the purple air seemed to contain a raging blood wave, just like fighting on the battlefield, and it rolled towards Sudong. Sudong's face remained unchanged, and he shook his long sleeves, and the sword was in his hand. Swish. The sword light penetrated time and space. This sword was extremely terrifying. The power aftermath alone caused the surrounding pavilions and stones to collapse and turn into powder. Just a collision. Zichang's swordsmanship was defeated instantly. Puff. The sword light flashed. The flying sword controlled by the 7-star sword god Zichang collapsed and fell to the ground. He stood there with his hands covering his chest, and a mouthful of blood spit out of his mouth. His eyes were full of horror. I lost. As the second strongest man in the ancient Shenlong country with a long reputation. One can imagine the pride in Zichang's heart. In the past, in the entire Shenlong ancient country, the only person he was really afraid of was Duke Qin. Now, facing Chu Shai and Feng, he actually lost. Lost miserably, and couldn't even withstand a single blow. Is this the sword technique inherited by the Demon Lord? He asked. Yes. Su Dong nodded. He was indeed performing the fifth style of the Demon Lord's sword technique. Awesome. No wonder you dare to put forward such conditions. Your strength has long been above your majesty. Zichang bowed his hands. He lost with conviction. Coming from the military, he admired the strong the most. Strength represents everything. For a strong man like Su Dong, the number of troops was useless in front of him, and they could not resist or check him at all. Go tell your majesty that I will give him 3 days. If he doesn't bring the third volume of the Demon Lord's scroll within 3 days, I will go to the palace myself. Su Dong said. Zichang's face changed, and then he nodded silently and bowed his hands. He turned around and flew into the air and turned into a stream of light and flew away. The long sword that fell into the courtyard was not picked up and taken away. Inside the palace, Nang Song, the king of the ancient Shenlong country, was sitting in the hall. He was a cultivator, naturally different from ordinary emperors, and he didn't like to enjoy himself, so there were not many palace maids in the hall. He was tall, and his height alone was nearly 3 meters. Sitting there, he was like a little giant. The aura emanating from his body was noble and majestic. This was also related to the Shenlong magic formula he practiced. Nang Song sat in the hall, holding a scroll in his big hand, and pondered silently. This third scroll left by the Demon Lord records half of the body refining method. Half is Taoism. In fact, in terms of value, among the 3 scrolls passed down by the Demon Lord, this third scroll is the lowest in value. The Demon Lord scroll is divided into 3 volumes. The first volume is the most valuable. Most of the price is Taoism and the general outline of the Great Dao. A small part is the explanation of swordsmanship. The second volume is second, and most of the records are swordsmanship methods, and a small part is Taoism. But in terms of combat power improvement, the second volume of swordsmanship is more valuable and faster. The third volume is the least valuable. Although it records half of the body refining method and half of the Taoism method, because both are fragments, they are not systematic. The most valuable part of this volume is actually the body refining method. Nang Song has studied this body refining method for many years. Combining it with his own Shenlong magic formula, he has gained a lot. But the body refining method alone is powerful. The level of the method is too low, and the improvement of strength is limited. No matter how strong the body is, it is to save life and to bear it hard. Only when the method is improved, it is truly powerful. If I can get the second volume of the Demon Lord scroll, combined with the third volume, my method will be greatly improved, and it will be easy for the Taoism realm to break through the realm. Break through the realm in one fell swoop. Become one of the top strongmen in this world. This is his desire. Thinking of this, his eyes are full of heat. But thinking that the second volume of the Demon Lord scroll fell into Chu Shai and Feng's hands, his eyes appeared cold again. The anger in his heart rose and kept rolling. Who is he? The king of a country, the emperor of the ancient Shenlong country. Chu was just a minister under his command. It would be fine if he didn't pay tribute to the treasure. He asked his fourth son Nang Shiki to ask for it and promised to give him a big reward. Chu Shai and Feng actually said that he wanted to exchange the scroll with him. It's ridiculous. How precious is the inheritance of the Demon Lord? It's enough for me to see it alone. It's too much for one more person to see it. He had something in mind. Chu Shai and Feng was born with a rebellious nature and was difficult to control. Today, he promised to get the inheritance scroll by giving him benefits. When the time comes, he must be eliminated. Otherwise, with his evil talent, he will definitely be a disaster in the future. No matter what, Zichang has come forward to deal with Chu Shai and Feng. It's enough. In the entire Shenlong ancient country, the person he trusted and relied on the most was Zichang. This book was recently updated in #@. Update. Even the matter of asking for the scroll inheritance was given to him. In terms of strength, Zichang was only weaker than him in body training. but his swordsmanship was better than his. Nang Song was thinking. Your Majesty, the sword god is here. An eunuch reported outside the palace. The sword god is a title bestowed by the emperor, just like the title of saint of the Chu family's ancestor. It is an honor. Zichang's status in the military is even higher. Please come in. Nang Songyun said. His face was full of joy. So fast. Zichang is indeed much more efficient than his useless fourth prince. As he said this, he even got up and got down from the throne. As soon as he got down, he saw Zichang walking in from the palace door. He didn't notice that the long sword on Zichang's back was lost. As the sword god, he usually carried a long sword when he met the emperor. Your Majesty, Zichang saluted. No thanks, no thanks. Did you get the thing? Nang Songyun said. No, I tried my best, but was defeated by Chu Xianfeng with one sword. Zichang shook his head. Nang Song's eyes widened, and his face changed. You lost. Yes. Zichang was ashamed. I have failed your Majesty's trust. Please punish me. This. Nang Song looked at Zichang in front of him, and many thoughts came to his mind, including anger, impulse, and more shock. Zichang's achievements in swordsmanship had long reached the level of breaking the realm. Even if he fights with him, he can only rely on his stronger body refining magic to win. But Zichang lost to Chu Xianfeng? Don't blame you. Don't blame you. Nang Song waved his hands in despair. You said that Chu Xianfeng defeated you with one sword? Yes. One sword? Just one sword? Just one sword. Zichang nodded helplessly. That sword was too fast and too terrifying, and he still has lingering fears. Your swordsmanship has long reached the level of breaking the realm. He can defeat you with one sword. There is no doubt that his swordsmanship is at a higher level, and I'm not his opponent. Nang Song sighed. Does he have anything for you to tell me? Zichang hesitated. Just say it. Nang Song waved his hand. Zichang nodded. Yes, he said that, if His Majesty does not send the third scroll within 3 days, he will come to the palace in person. Thanks to the book friend 42682 boss for the reward. I really appreciate your support. It's just that Danqi has a hard time adding more chapters due to work reasons. I'm sorry. Chapter 646. 3 Lives Sutra. Nang Song's face was ugly. Since he founded the ancient dragon kingdom, no one dared to talk to him like this for a long time. But he knew very well that Chu Xianfeng was indeed qualified to say this, because the latter's strength was there, and he easily defeated Zichang. He was a strong man at the level of breaking the realm. Nang Song had been in charge of the ancient dragon kingdom for many years. He still knew how to make choices. He could oppress the weak and do whatever he wanted, but he would naturally start from his own interests for the strong. If Chu Xianfeng came to the palace to take it by force and tore his face, his position as His Majesty the Emperor would be over, while he is still willing to exchange the scrolls. Nang Song gritted his teeth. I will go to see him tonight. Yes. Zichang nodded without saying much. No one except Sudong and Nangang Yan knew that Zichang came to Sudong's mansion. In the evening, it was getting dark. 2 streams of light passed directly over the sky of Nanfeng City. The figures in the 2 streams of light were as tall as a giant. It was the lord of the ancient dragon country, and Zichang followed him. The 2 landed directly in the courtyard of the mansion. There was a pavilion in the courtyard, and a figure had been waiting in the pavilion. Is that Chu Xianfeng? Did you know I was coming? Sure enough, he has an extraordinary temperament. Nang Song looked over. Seeing the young man in the pavilion, he sighed in his heart. Chu Xianfeng is only 18 years old, but he has such strength. His talent is top notch in the entire human history. Such a genius, who got the 2 scrolls of inheritance from the demon lord. What will he achieve in the future? Knowing that he is extraordinary, he should have made friends with him earlier. Third young master. Nang Song bowed. Zichang stood beside him, and Nang Song walked towards the pavilion. As he walked, he released his pressure, wanting to press towards Sudong. But just as he released it, the young man in the pavilion in front of him looked over. Just a glance. Boom. Nang Song seemed to see a blade light tearing through the infinite darkness, piercing through the heaven and earth. The earth-shaking aura made Nang Song's heart tremble. The tall body was sweating all over. What a terrifying aura. Zichang said he was defeated with one sword, and he was not lying. Nang Song's face softened at the moment, and he quickly withdrew his aura. His aura dissipated. The terrifying scene in front of him, that appeared in his mind, also dissipated. Strength overwhelmed everything. Nang Song dared not have any other thoughts and quickly took out the third volume of the Demon Lord scroll. Late at night, Nang Song and Zichang left, and only Sudong was left in the pavilion. He held 2 Demon Lord scrolls in his hands. This Nang Song is sensible. After watching the second volume, he gave me the third volume. Sudong smiled. In fact, with their memory, this inheritance scroll can be imprinted in their hearts after watching it once. But even if it is all remembered, the Demon Lord inheritance is so vast that there are scrolls to constantly comprehend, and no original to rely on memory to comprehend. They were 2 completely different experiences. Nang Song was completely frightened. Greed has to be divided into different objects. Being greedy for the strong is courting death. The third volume of the Demon Lord Atlas mainly talks about the body refining method and the Taoism. This body refining method is not bad. Sudong immediately began to study it. The Demon Lord's body refining method. It is quite unique in increasing the power of the divine body, but Sudong did not deliberately practice it. After all, Chu Xian Feng's body is an external object, so there is no need to polish it too strong. But the Taoism, the swordsmanship recorded in the second volume is comprehensive, and the Taoism is a little incomplete. With this third volume, the Taoism is more complete. This Taoism is called the Three Lives Sutra. Sudong frowned. The Three Lives Sutra. This name shocked Sudong too much, because he knew the origin of this world very well, which was contained in the Three Lives Talisman. Sudong didn't know how long the Three Lives Talisman had existed, but the history of this world was extremely long. The division system of Taoism was even higher than the Endless Void where Sudong was. If the Endless Void is also one of the strange divine objects like the Three Life Talisman, Sudong was shocked. He had never dared to think about it in detail. The void is vast and mysterious. There is no record of where the Endless Void originated. But the void spans through eras, which is also similar to the worlds. 3000 void eras. 3000 worlds. Everything fits so well. If the Endless Void was really born in this way, how vast would the outside world be? In the eyes of the creatures in the outside world, is their vast void just the internal scene of a divine object like the Three Life Talisman? It's terrifying to think about it carefully. This book was recently updated in #@. Update. Sudong shook his head. Those are not what I can think of now. Becoming a holy spirit is the first priority. The way of heaven is vast, and many creatures, whether high or low, are like weeds in front of the world. Only by being strong and surpassing the world can one control oneself. Three Lives Sutra. This method left by the Demon Lord covers time and space, life, and death. It is much stronger than the 3 great Dao methods of Huanquan Daofu. This inheritance is a first-class treasure, even if placed in the Endless Void. Sudong began to comprehend the Dao method. The more he comprehended, the more he understood that this Dao method was too high level. It was definitely not created by the Demon Lord. It should have been obtained by the latter by chance. After all, the scripture describes the profound Dao method and points directly to the most profound secrets of this world. It is too profound. At the beginning, there was only a small part of the Dao method recorded in the second scroll. Sudong was still unable to sense the strength of this Dao method. At this moment, it was combined with the third scroll. The middle and lower echoed. The more he comprehended, the more surprised he was. Three Lives Sutra, directly pointing to the universe, the 2 supreme Daos of life and death. Many shocking scriptures poured into Sudong's mind. This mysterious cultivation method was like the sound of the Dao, constantly echoing in Sudong's mind. Sudong was completely convinced by this Dao method. This method is related to time and space, life, and death. One must have a deep understanding of the universe, life and death before one can practice and move forward. Not only does it require first-class talent, but it also requires accumulation. In terms of the mysteries of time and space involved, I don't know how many times higher than the traces of time and space involved in the Xianluo Wangxiang body method that Sudong once created. And similarly, the way of life and death is also extremely vast. There are many treasures in Huangquandaofu, such as the Xiao Samsara Cave and the infinite Daozang on Daozang Peak. These are all treasures, but none of them can be compared with the Three-Live Sutra in Sudong's hand. The Three-Live Sutra is more systematic, more organized, and directly points to the essence. It is completely not on the same level. I feel that this Three-Live Sutra is definitely the top peak of this world, the endless era of the void. Is there any method that can compare with this Three-Live Sutra? Sudong was shocked. His current strength is only about the 5-crowned Shuriken in Huangquandaofu. Compared with the powerful Shurikens of the 10 palaces, there is still a long way to go. In the endless era of the void, the strongest ones are like the Xianqi Rinsheng Emperor, the king of the two worlds, the big men of the void god court and the eternal Buddha realm. Next is the Lord King of Pan's Hang Mountain, Wang Zhenren and others. Next is the level of the 19 crowned Shurikens such as the 10 palaces Shurikens and the 6 tiger Shurikens. As for Sudong, he is just a strong man in the ordinary Holy Spirit group. Of course, although Sudong has not been tempered for many years, he has a wide range of experience, coupled with extraordinary opportunities, so he can see the preciousness of the Three-Live Sutra. He was surprised, shocked, but he was immersed in it, and couldn't extricate himself. Chapter 647, A Dream. In the capital, there is a palace covering a large area. The fourth prince likes to be involved in politics, and he likes to live a luxurious life. Beautiful maids can be seen everywhere in the huge palace, and the palace guards are 3 layers inside and 3 layers outside, making the palace like an iron barrel. He likes the feeling of having a large number of manpower and material resources serving him alone, which is the power of power. Bang! The fat fourth prince, wearing a loose bright yellow robe, threw the wine glass in his hand, smashed the exquisite ceramic wine glass on the ground, and it exploded directly, and the wine and glass fragments splashed everywhere. Your Highness, please forgive me. A middle-aged man kneeling below trembled. The fourth prince's eyes seemed to be about to spit fire. Forgive me, Li Takang, you still have the face to come to see me? Do you know how much face I lost because of your daughter this time? What kind of relationship between teachers and students in the school? What kind of close relationship? A letter can give you 70% to 80% certainty. Bah. Your Highness. Li Takang wanted to speak. Stop talking. In my opinion, the matter you requested for your third son should be executed according to the law. Since you have violated the law, do you still want to get away? The fourth prince waved his hand. The beautiful maid standing next to him hurriedly stepped forward to clean up the ground. Li Takang's face changed drastically. Your Highness, Zhu Yu was framed by his colleagues and was wronged. Your Highness, please consider that I have served you for many years. 2 of my 3 sons have died in the army. Now there is only this one left to carry on the family line. Please show mercy. He knelt on the ground, tears streaming down his face. In order to hone the real strong military service is a test of life and death. If you pass it, you will be rewarded. If you fail, you will die. The poor are good at literature and the rich are good at martial arts. In this world, the strong are respected. There are many wealthy families willing to send their children to the army to hone and grow, and become people like the sword god Zichang. Only those who have no future will learn literature. Like Chu Xian Feng's 2 elder brothers, the eldest brother Chu Xianqing was fine, but Chu Xianhang joined the army, and showed amazing talent. He was secretly cultivated by the army. What an honor. As for joining a sect, the Taoist inheritance of the sect is not as good as that of the army, and the training effect is also different. The army is more efficient in cultivating strong people, and of course it is more dangerous. But there is a limit to danger. Li Takang is unlucky. His 2 sons joined the army, and died in the army. Humph. Don't you have a precious daughter? The fourth prince sneered. Zua is a girl after all. How can she inherit my family business? Li Takang shook his head. The fourth prince sneered, but suddenly his heart moved. Speaking of Li Zua, he was very angry with Sudong this time. I heard that Chu Xianfeng and Li Zua are indeed very close. If he gets Li Zua, it can be regarded as taking advantage of Chu Xianfeng in a side way. Haha, interesting. Thinking of this, he suddenly laughed. It is rumored that Li Zua is also a first-class beauty, just suitable to be his plaything. Your Highness, Li Kang looked up and saw the smiling fourth prince, and hope ignited in his heart. Li Kang, do you really want to save Li Zuiyu? Yes, yes, please have mercy, your highness. The fourth prince was the presiding judge of his third son's case this time. Okay, I'll give you a choice, your third son and your daughter Li Zuiyu. You choose one. If you want to save Li Zuiyu, you will give Li Zuiyu to me. How about it? The fourth prince asked. Give. Li Kang was stunned. Yes, the fourth prince already had a wife and more than 20 concubines, and he was too lazy to marry again. Zuiyu, in order to save Zuiyu, you should sacrifice yourself. He didn't hesitate. In order to pass on the family line, sacrificing his daughter was worth it in his opinion. Okay, as long as the fourth prince rescues Zuiyu, Zuiyu will be given to your highness. Li Kang stared at the fourth prince. The fourth prince's face was full of fat, and he smiled brightly. Okay. Linghe Academy. Li Zuiyu has lived here for a long time. There is a small hill and a courtyard with a unique scenery. What? Li Zuiyu looked at her mother in front of her with a stunned expression. Zuiyu, as long as you go to the fourth prince, your third brother will live. Madame Li's face was haggard, and tears could be seen faintly in the corners of her eyes. Li Zuiyu was a little dazed, her face was pale. There was a bit of anger and surprise in her eyes. She asked herself that, since she was sensible, she had been working hard, had some achievements, and was dedicated to repaying her parents' kindness. Now, in order to save her third brother, she was sent away. I don't want to. She shook her head. But she didn't finish her words. Madame Li had already knelt in front of her, tears streaming down her face. Zuiyu, I have never asked you for anything in my life. I only ask you this time, to save your third brother. He is the only one in our family. Li Zuiyu's palms in her sleeves clenched suddenly, and then loosened weakly. She wanted to say that she could also take care of her parents for the rest of her life. But when the word came to her lips, she swallowed them again. What if she said it? What parents want is not a daughter who can take care of them for the rest of their lives, but a son. Even if that son is reckless, stupid and cowardly, he is still 100 times better than her sensible, hardworking, and talented daughter. A moment later, Madame Li walked out of the courtyard. Li Kang was waiting outside. How is it? He asked hurriedly. Zuiyu agreed. Madame Li nodded. Li Kang smiled immediately. After all, Li Zuiyu was at the peak of the Saint Realm, and was a tutor at Linghe Academy. If she really didn't want to, he couldn't force her. This book was recently updated in #@. Update. Just agree. Isn't this too unfair to Zuiyu? Madame Li sighed. I can't care so much. Let's rescue Zuiyu first. In the courtyard, Li Zuiyu was dressed in white. Her sword was thrown aside, and she had a pen in her hand. Silently, he sketched a picture, a young man quietly looking around in front of the mountain, and a woman in the mountain practicing sword. But it seemed that the woman's heart was no longer on the sword, and had already gone somewhere else. Chu Xianfeng had average martial arts talent, and was good at reciting poems and painting. That year, Chu Xianfeng came to the mountain behind Linghe Academy to collect flowers, and happened to see her practicing behind the mountain. Who are you? Do you know where this place is? She asked with a sword in hand. Of course, she knew that she was a disciple of Linghe Academy. I'm Chu Xianfeng, a scholar. Girl, have we met somewhere before? Yes. You were in Minghua Tower that day. Minghua Tower was a restaurant. She had fought for her cousin, and changed her appearance, but the young man recognized her at a glance. I recognize your eyes. No woman in the world has a more lonely look than yours. That day, Li Zuiyu threw Chu Xianfeng off the mountain. But Chu Xianfeng liked coming here. He was thrown off the mountain by her again and again, but he came again and again. He was diligent. Until one day, Chu Xianfeng held her sword and unfolded a scroll. The woman holding the sword in the painting amazed the time, and also amazed her. She thought at that time that this young man was not good at Taoism, but his painting skills were amazing. While painting, she recalled, there were also tears falling on the tip of the pen, wetting the drawing paper. Chu Xianfeng, I'm not just Li Zuiyu after all. I'm not as free and easy as you. After finishing a painting, Li Zuo crumpled the drawing paper, and the drawing paper was like a dream, turning into a kite, emitting a faint divine light. Whoosh! The kite flew out of the window. It flew out of Linghe Academy, and flew out of the capital in less than half a day to Nanfeng City. The kite fell into Sudong's mansion with the night. Connected by a dream, Sudong was still immersed in the understanding of Taoism in his mansion, when suddenly his heart moved, and he opened his eyes. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 648, The Third Master Choose Great Backer. A dream is a profound method in the dream-like infinite Taoism that involves the heart and desire. It is connected with the cause and effect of the mysterious feelings. As far as he knows, only Chu Xianfeng's master Li Zuo can do it. Li Zuo. Sudong waved his hand and the kite flew into the room through the window. He unfolded it and took a look. The boy and the girl in the painting met, and this scene was so familiar. Sudong was stunned. The painting can convey emotions, and even more so, he could feel the despair and sadness contained in the woman in the painting, and his heart trembled. He shook his head silently. Li Zuo, you are also at the peak of becoming a saint, but you are so bound by family affection. Unless you can let it go, otherwise, no one can help you. Chu Xianfeng had advised him before, but this was someone else's family affair. What could he do? Due to his personality, Sudong was even more helpless. It must be a family matter that could have such a big impact on Li Zuo, but feeling the affection in the painting, he could only feel sorry for Li Zuo. But thinking back to the letter sent by the fourth prince a few days ago, Sudong thought about it and understood. Well, I'll go to the palace. Li Zuo has feelings for Chu Xianfeng. Although Chu Xianfeng is irresponsible and spends his life in debauchery, deep in his heart, he also values Li Zuo very much. In Sudong's view, Chu Xianfeng owes a debt of love to two women in his life. One is Nangang Yan, and the other is Li Zuo. He can only repay them as much as he can. Whoosh! That night, a stream of light flashed in the night sky. In the capital, in the palace. Sword God Zichang lived in the palace. He suddenly opened his eyes, flew out of his residence, and saw the afterimage flying across the sky. What a fast speed! Zichang's eyes were full of astonishment. He couldn't believe it. The speed of this flight was too fast, beyond his imagination. It was the only one he had ever seen in his life. Is it him? What is he doing in the palace? Zichang's heart trembled. Is he here for his majesty? He was full of worry and hurriedly flew towards the palace. With Sudong's strength, killing Nang Song is just like killing a chicken. In the largest palace in the palace. Nang Song also opened his eyes. What is he doing here? He also found the figure flying into the palace, and he was shocked and suspicious. After all, this person wants his life, and no one can stop him. Nang Song is naturally afraid of death. The next day, it was just dawn. The fourth prince pushed away the beauty beside him, got up from the bed, and changed his clothes. Chu Xianfeng, when I get Li Zuo, I will definitely ravage her. It is said that you are not affectionate and righteous. Dare to disobey me. The fourth prince is fat and bloated, but his mind is extremely narrow. He has no shortage of beautiful women. But when he thought of Li Zuo, he really felt itchy in his heart. After all, Li Zuo is also a famous beauty, and she can also use this opportunity to vent her anger towards Chu Xianfeng, killing two birds with one stone. Besides, in his opinion, Chu Xianfeng will definitely be killed if he dares to be so arrogant. He still knows a little about the methods of his father, the emperor. In terms of ruthlessness, he is not 1/10,000th as good as his father. A Chu Xianfeng? He got a powerful inheritance by chance, but what does it count for in front of the king of a country? He was thinking. Come to the palace quickly. His sleeve shook. Father sent a message? The fourth prince glared. Although he was a prince, there was no father and son in the royal family, and he was also a minister. Usually, when his majesty wanted to see him, he would naturally let the eunuchs pass the message. Send a message with a command token? It was too rare. Yes, father. The fourth prince did not dare to neglect it. He hurried to the palace. As soon as he arrived at the palace, the tall and majestic His Majesty Nang Song slapped him in the face with a thick stack of files. "Look at what you have done." The fourth prince was startled and trembled and begged for mercy. He also looked at the files scattered on the ground. At first glance, they were all some shameful things he did in private. Among them, of course, was a small matter of framing Li Zuiyu, the third son of the Li family. "My son knows his crime. My son knows his crime." The fourth prince was still confused. Nang Song shook his head. He was even more confused last night. Su Dong rushed directly into the palace with a fierce momentum. In front of such a strong man, the palace guards were like paper. What was that? He was shocked and frightened. But he didn't expect that Su Dong came here for Li Zui's matter. He immediately investigated. Stupid. Really stupid. Chu Xianfeng is a strong man in the realm of breaking boundaries, and he is young and energetic. He used to be famous for chasing after orioles and swallows. How could he attack his woman? Nang Song was furious. He was trembling with fear in the middle of the night, and it was actually because of this matter. His fourth son is really going backwards. Go back and release Li Zuiyu immediately, as well as the request you made. Give up this idea as soon as possible, and give an apology to that Li Zuiyu. Go to the residence of the third young master Chu to plead guilty. Nang Song said with a cold face. The fourth prince Nang Shiki listened tremblingly. Only now did he realize that it was because of Li Zuiyu. Go to the residence of the third young master Chu to plead guilty? Go to plead guilty with Chu Xianfeng? Why don't you get out of here? Nang Song looked at the fourth prince in a daze and shouted angrily. Yes, I will do it right away. This book was recently updated in #@. Update. The fourth prince was sweating profusely. His fat body stood up from the ground and left the palace with a head full of cold sweat. It's over. It's over. That Chu Xianfeng must be so powerful that even my father is afraid of him. His father was afraid, let alone him. Su Dong still saved face for Nang Song, otherwise he would have killed Nang Shiki with a knife. What could Nang Song say? Li Mansion. The Li family has been very gloomy these days. Li Takang is even preparing to send Li Zuiyu to the fourth prince. As long as Zuiyu goes, Zuiyu can be exchanged. Li Takang is looking forward to it. Mrs. Li prayed silently. Zuiyu has been spoiled since he was a child. How can he bear being in prison for such a long time? Don't worry, I have taken care of it. Until now, they still only think about their son. But before noon, the fourth prince personally brought Li Zuiyu into the Li family. Li Takang and his wife hurried to greet him, especially when they saw their son Li Zuiyu. They felt that the fourth prince's words were binding. He immediately said that he would take Li Zuiyu there personally. But the fourth prince was scared half to death. He left a lot of gifts for Li Takang to give to Li Zuiyu to apologize, and said that there is a difference between men and women. He would not visit. Before leaving, "Old Li, you don't have to thank me, thank the third son of Chu." The fourth prince was quite enthusiastic. Li Takang understood. It turns out that the reason why the fourth prince is so easy to talk to is because of the third master Chu. At noon that day, the fourth prince visited Su Dong. He was stopped outside the door by the guards, and Su Dong was too lazy to see him. The fourth prince could only leave a heavy gift and left in disgrace. In the afternoon of the same day, in the courtyard of Linghe Academy, Zuo, Madame Li excitedly took Li Zuo's hand. She was happy from the bottom of her heart that Li Zuiyu came back safely. This world is of a very high level, and lifespan is longer. But a long life does not mean more experience. Li Zuo's eyes were calm. After this incident, she saw a lot more clearly. In the past, she was devoted to her family, and she also felt that her parents had paid a lot to cultivate her. But now, she is a daughter who can be thrown out at any time in exchange for her younger brother, so naturally the family affection in her heart has become indifferent. Madame Li did not notice the change in Li Zuo's expression. She just kept talking to herself. The fourth prince said that he wanted to thank the third master Chu this time. The third master Chu is a powerful figure. Zuo, mother remembers that the third master Chu and you seem to have a close relationship. If our family can rely on the third master Chu as a big backer who will dare to mess with us in the future? Didn't you see that the fourth prince apologized obediently? Li Zuo's face was calm. She looked out the window silently. This time, did he help her? Another 3 days passed. Sudong sent Nangang Yan to Linghua Academy and became a disciple of Li Zua to practice swordsmanship. Chapter 649 Jupkin is here. Half a month later. Linghua Academy branch. Master. After Nangang Yan and Li Zua got to know each other, their relationship naturally became much closer. Jaina, Chu Shai and Feng was willing to leave you by my side to practice. What was he thinking? Li Zua frowned slightly. She heard that Chu Shai and Feng often took Nangang Yan with him when he traveled. She thought Nangang Yan was Chu Shai and Feng's destined person. Nangang Yan shook her head. Master is wrong. Young master came back this time. Not only his temperament has changed, his strength has greatly increased, but his mind has also become much deeper. Although I accompany him every day, but I can feel that young master's heart is not with me. She originally thought that young master liked Li Zua, but in the end, although the two had feelings for each other, Li Zua was cold after all, and Sudong did not express anything. Is it that fairy Fiu? I heard that he fought for fairy Fiu. Li Zua shook her head. No, this Fiu sent 3 visiting cards in a row. The young master refused to see her. Nangang Yan smiled. She received all 3 visiting cards, so she knew clearly. Who is that? Li Zua was puzzled. I don't know, but I can feel that the young master has someone in his heart. Apart from this person, there is no room for anyone else. Time flies, and another month has passed in the blink of an eye. In a cave far away in the southern border, Jupkin, dressed in a dark green robe, sat cross-legged alone. A dark golden terrifying aura rose around him, faintly like a huge bat with its wings spread out, covering Jupkin. The entire cave was covered and filled with this terrifying aura. This aura was not only stronger than Zichang, but also more terrifying than Nang Song, the lord of the ancient Shenlong country. Wow. Jupkin suddenly opened his eyes. The aura on his body was instantly restrained. After 3 years and 7 months, I finally pushed the golden bat divine art to the extreme. He flipped his hand. A pool of blood in the cave suddenly rolled. As if suddenly, a blood wave rolled up from the blood pool, and a long roar that shook the earth was heard. Boom. A wave of blood rose from the blood pool, and then the blood wave seemed to be pulled and torn from the side, separated from it, and the blood wave splashed, revealing a terrifying and huge figure in it. The figure was shaped like a tiger or leopard, with black and green scales all over its body and a pair of majestic horns on its head. It stuck out its long tongue. Countless dark bloodworms like clouds flew in its mouth. Whoosh. Jupkin sat directly on the back of the strange beast, and the strange beast roared intimately. Chu Shai and Feng, I will start with you in the first battle of breaking the world. The cold light flashed in its eyes. Boom. The black and green terrifying beast moved its ferocious hooves and claws, and instantly rushed out of the cave, broke through the cave, and turned into a black light, and went far away towards the horizon. Nanfeng City, the majesty of the ancient country of Shenlong specially gave a Chu mansion. Chu Shai and Feng's rise was tacitly acknowledged by the high-level circles of the entire Shenlong ancient country. Who is the most untouchable person in the entire Shenlong ancient country? Naturally, it is the third son of the Chu family. The courtyard of the Chu mansion. Sudong sat in the courtyard with blooming flowers and plants. Buzz, buzz. There were grey air currents swirling around him, like waves of misty fog. This part of the Three-Live Sutra, that talks about the way of life and death, I have only truly understood it today. My foundation of the way of death has taken another step forward. I'm only one step away from becoming a holy spirit. Sudong opened his eyes, and a touch of joy flashed in his eyes. Just one step away. He will become a holy spirit, and reach the realm of eternity. After so much hard work, seeing success is just around the corner, he is naturally happy and excited. Huh. Suddenly, Sudong frowned. He looked up into the sky. Boom. The sky above Nanfeng City instantly turned blood red, and the strong blood color covered the sky. The clouds were like sticky blood, and the whole world was filled with a pungent smell of blood. What's going on? This is... The entire Nanfeng City fell into chaos in an instant. Countless people looked at the strange phenomenon in the sky, and saw that the sky was stained with blood, and the surrounding air was twisted and bloody. Naturally, everyone was trembling with fear. Sahei Tower, the world's #1 killer group, and many powerful masters of powerful forces were all shocked and investigated. In the imperial palace of the capital, the blood in the sky has spread all the way here. What a strong momentum. Zichang soared into the sky. He was covered with sword light, and the sword light could force the surrounding blood away for several feet. It was only a few feet. This surprised Zichang even more. Boom. This book was recently updated in #@. Update. Recently, His Majesty Nangsong, the king of the country who practiced the second volume of the Demon Lord's skills, has also improved his cultivation a lot. His tall body soared into the sky, flew over the palace, and looked forward in surprise. This breath, although only endless blood was seen, this blood contained a specific breath of divine power. Your Majesty, it's Kinfu. Zichang sent the message immediately. Duke Qin, whose real name is Kinfu. He broke through one step faster than me. Nangsong's eyes flashed with fear and dread. Duke Qin was different from Zichang. Zichang was loyal to him, but Duke Qin was just being wooed by him. After a long time together, Nangsong knew that the latter was not someone who would be willing to be inferior to others. Now that he had broken through, his Shenlong ancient country was afraid that things would change. As soon as Kinfu broke through, he went to find Chu Xianfeng. At this moment, the mountains and rivers within 1,000 miles were shrouded in this surging bloodlight. Many hidden masters and many powerful practitioners were all alarmed. Even Nifan from the north, the red-clothed female Taoist, was also shocked. It was that Duke Qin, the Holy Lord, once specifically mentioned that the only powerful person in the Shenlong ancient country was Duke Qin. Yifan's eyes were filled with surprise. But when the Holy Lord mentioned it, this Duke Qin was not in the Xianqi realm. With such momentum, he must have broken through. He came here to kill. As soon as he broke through, he came to find Chu Xianfeng. The second son of Qin died at the hands of Chu Xianfeng. Such a grudge will naturally not end until one dies. Duke Qin, Chu Xianfeng. These two are both powerful people at the realm-breaking level. What kind of scene will it be if they fight? They all felt depressed and heavy in their hearts. Here it comes. The Duke will take action, and Chu Xianfeng will die. Now the Duke is a powerful person at the realm-breaking level. Killing Chu Xianfeng is as easy as pie. Many forces in the ancient country of Shenlong, such as the Black Fox Gang, the Jinan sect, and the forces involved in the underworld, all belong to Duke Qin. At this moment, they are naturally excited. After allowing Chu Xianfeng to be rampant for a long time, Duke Qin finally took action. And when Duke Qin appeared, he was a powerful person at the realm-breaking level, so domineering. It was enough to shock the world. Linghua Academy was also covered by the blood. Li Zuir and Nangang Yan were confused and shocked at first, until the message came from Sihei Tower. The one who made such a big fuss was Duke Qin. The faces of both of them changed. Duke Qin wants to attack Xianfeng. Li Zuir's face was pale. She was also a cultivator, so she naturally knew how terrible Duke Qin was now. Master, don't worry. The young master has deep skills, and may not be afraid of this Duke Qin. Nangang Yan comforted Li Zuir instead. After all, she has followed Sudong for a long time, and she still knows something about Sudong's strength. How can a Duke Qin be a match for the young master? She respected Sudong very much, and she was still confident, even if her opponent was Duke Qin. In the courtyard, Sudong stood up and flew into the air alone. Looking at the endless bloodlight above. You dare to come out, only after breaking through the realm? Interesting. Come on, Duke Qin. Sudong stood in the sky, letting the strong wind blow, and he stood still. Chapter 650. Like son, like father. The beast covered with black and green scales flew to the sky amidst the bloody light. It roared to the sky in the bloody light, and the roar was rumbling. In the endless bloody breath, the increasingly terrifying fierce aura emerged wave after wave, hitting the night sky heavily. With every roar, the world seemed to be shaking and humming. According to the intelligence information, Chu Xianfeng is here. The demon-like figure sat behind the beast. Duke Qin, who was wearing a dark green robe, had a cold face and looked down fiercely. Then the whole beast took a step with its hooves and claws. With one step, the terrifying figure instantly passed through layers of space and appeared above the Chu mansion. Suddenly, the figure of the beast stopped abruptly. It stopped in midair. Dukekin sat on the back of the beast, looking coldly at the figure standing alone in the night sky ahead. Dukekin. Sudong stood in the night sky, waiting for him from afar. Chu Shai and Feng. Dukekin's eyes flashed with murderous intent. Did Aina die in your hands? Yes. Sudong nodded coldly. Dukekin's eyes were cold, and he suddenly burst out with monstrous hatred, and his face became extremely ferocious. Although he had many children, the one he doted on the most was Kinnan. A mere Cheyenne Key realm dared to kill my children. If he had not pushed the golden bat divine art to the extreme and broke through the realm, he would not be able to sense Sudong's realm clearly, but once he broke through, facing Sudong again, because of the realm gap, he naturally felt that, although the young man in front of him had the same terrifying momentum, he was still a little short of the realm of breaking through. Stop talking nonsense and do it. Sudong snorted coldly. The realm of breaking through is just a holy spirit. This is the first time he has fought against a holy spirit since he came to this world. I hope this Dukekin will not let me down. Haha. Kin Fu laughed in anger, as expected. You are arrogant. Don't worry, I won't let you die easily. I will chop you into pieces and feed them to my spirit beast. Sudong's eyes were calm. As early as in the void, his strength could easily wipe out ordinary holy spirits, not to mention that his swordsmanship has improved now. Even if there are those who have made achievements in the 3000 paths of this world, their strength after breaking through the realm is indeed stronger than that of ordinary holy spirits in the void. But Sudong is stronger. Die. Boom. Kin Fu made a move in an instant, his fingers jumped, and wisps of strange blood energy suddenly intertwined and entangled in his palms. The strange blood color condensed into a blood-colored long whip, and it was swung violently. The long whip was like a snake. In an instant, the blood-colored whip shadows that twisted and danced wildly spread all over the night sky, and each one was extremely terrifying, easily tearing through the space and strangling Sudong. Choke. Sudong's white robe was stern, and his long sleeves shook. The long sword in his sleeves fell into his hand immediately. Break. A knife came out. The knife light was dazzling and bright, and instantly swept a large crack in the blood-colored night sky, and also tore the space. The blood light was broken layer by layer, wanting to devour and tear everything apart. After understanding the 6th level of the Demon Lord's swordsmanship, Sudong's swordsmanship level was improved again, but he has not really made a move yet. Although this knife was terrifying, it was only a move after the Yama knife merged with the mysterious knife technique. Puff. The blood-colored twisted whip shadow was easily penetrated by the knife light. The dazzling knife light was extremely sharp and instantly rushed to Kin Fu, as if to tear Kin Fu apart with one knife. What a terrible knife technique. Kin Fu's face suddenly changed, and he hurriedly activated the body protection method. He was also secretly surprised. This Chu Shai and Feng's knife technique is so terrible. I have never seen it in my life. Roar. Dukekin used all his strength to activate the body protection method, and the divine power surged. A dark golden divine bat appeared around him. The divine bat spread its wings and blocked the sky. He tried his best to resist Sudong's knife. When fighting with the enemy, a head-on confrontation is done by crushing one level of strength and extremely confident. The knife light collided with the strange bat shadow. Instantly, a terrible power spread. Boom. The world that was originally filled with blood light instantly fell into darkness. The space was broken, and the light was distorted. This scene made countless strong people tremble. Is this the strength of a powerful person in the realm of breaking through boundaries? Dukekin is fine. After being famous for many years, is the third son of Chu also so strong? Shocked. In front of such a powerful person, all strategies and tactics are nonsense. He suppresses everything with force, which is suffocating. Blocked. Chu Shai and Feng's swordsmanship is definitely not inferior to the Holy Lord. Dukekin actually took it head on. Yi Fan's eyes were blazing. He was performing the Divine Eyes method. This battle was too important. He had fought with Sudong before, and he knew how terrible Sudong's swordsmanship was. Dukekin performed the method, and many strange phenomena appeared around him, constantly emitting terrifying power, and pressing Sudong in front again and again. Purely suppressing people with force. In terms of the vastness of divine power, Dukekin was obviously better than Sudong. Boom. 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 The aftermath of the sword light dissipated, and Yupkin sat on the back of the strange beast, standing in midair, his long hair flying, his eyes emitting a strong blood light, and he laughed loudly. "Is this what you rely on? You want to fight me too?" As he laughed, the blood light in the surrounding heaven and earth all shattered piece by piece. Countless blood-colored fragments floated in the air, densely suspended in the night sky. Die. This book was recently updated in #at. Update. Yupkin pointed at Sudang from a distance. Boom. It was like a blood-colored meteor storm. Countless blood-colored fragments penetrated the void, thousands of times more fierce and violent than thousands of arrows, and all enveloped Sudang. They wanted to crush Sudang directly. In terms of realm, Yupkin has achieved the great Dao after all, and he is proficient in all kinds of strange methods. In terms of techniques, he is even more proficient in many small ways. Countless blood-colored fragments bombarded, and the surrounding mountains and rivers shattered in an instant. Each figure showed horror on their faces, and they only saw the sky falling, and the earth collapsing. Countless blood-colored fragments fell. Hundreds of miles were covered in them. Under such a powerful attack, any life seemed so fragile. Humph. Sudang snorted coldly. As expected. What kind of offspring you have, what kind of father you have. He treated human life as worthless, and he deserved to die. But Sudang's powerful will burst out instantly. The power of the soul at the level of the 5-crown shuriken, even if it was suppressed by the mysterious airflow, was enough to affect the surrounding hundreds of miles. Not good. This blood-colored fragment. Am I going to die? Within the entire hundreds of miles, everyone's eyes were filled with fear. They were terrified that they had to suffer an unexpected disaster in such a battle between strong men. But then they were shocked to find that the countless blood-colored fragments fell. At the moment of falling, it seemed to have endless power, but it fell on them like a gust of air. It was easily decomposed and dissipated, just like a breeze blowing on the face. What's going on? It was the third Master Chu who protected us. Look, what is that? The knife. It's a knife. Countless strong men were shocked. A blade light shone up. Swish. Sudang's figure was like a blade, and he rushed forward, as if he had turned into a terrifying blade light. What was that just now? It can break my 10,000 bloods method. Yupkin was still shocked. But then he saw a flash of blade light in front of him. At this moment, the scenery between heaven and earth suddenly changed. The night sky, which was filled with blood light before, now turned into a bright and dazzling mirror like daylight. That was not a mirror. It was an extremely terrifying blade light. Kyan Q. Swish. The blade light flashed and instantly enveloped Yupkin. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.